Good morning, people. It is Monday, the 7th of August. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And I'm one of your hosts, Martin Royalty.
Good morning. Big man youth in the building.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
That is right. How is everybody this lovely Monday morning?
Considering everything that's going on at the moment.
You are so dramatic. You are so dramatic.
I feel great.
You might as well be his PR team. Considering everything's going on, you know. There's shit going on. That's good. Yusuf?
I'm alright, man. Just got a very bad migraine ever since yesterday. But
Have you? Oh, no.
besides that, we're here.
That's good.
You?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Mind my business. As I do. Just, you know.
How's your week off?
It was lovely. It was so nice. So I went to Gran Canaria.
Okay.
The hotel I stayed in, yeah. The views from the hotel I stayed in is the life that I've been called to. Like that, there's the kind of views that I want from my home. And it was just a reminder that I've got to keep working so I can get to that home.
Yes.
It was so beautiful. So my hotel was really, really remote. So I was just like surrounded by like mountains and just beautiful, just God's work. Like it was so lovely. It was very serene, very zen, beautiful weather. Tried to hike on the first day. It wasn't so much of a hike, it was much of a walk. And I just said, I'm not doing this again. This is just stupid. Like, literally, my hotel is so remote here that I was just like, okay. And it's weird because here, I walk for like 3 hours. I go on 3-hour walks and stuff like that. But I was like an hour in. I said, yeah, I've got to go home. And I remember I said to God, please let me see a cab. There was no way I was going to see a cab. Because I tried to go on Uber. Uber was like, sorry, like, it's not registering kind of thing. All in Spanish and whatnot. And I was like, God, please let me see a cab because I can't do this anymore. I can't walk any longer. Look at God. Almighty God I serve. I saw one cab.
Wow.
And he was so lovely because I had to find an adapter as well. I forgot to take a charger thing. I feel like hotels should just, actually no, because people come from different places, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that they should just have the 3-pin, but I feel like they should have options at least. It's a hotel, you can build whatever you want to build.
Sometimes they do, you know. Like if you go to like reception. I've been in that situation where I've asked them and they're like, oh yeah, we've got one.
I asked and all the lady had was 2-pin ones. I said, this is what you use upstairs. Like, how is this useful? I was like, how is this useful? But I had a lovely time. It was a beautiful, beautiful hotel. Like that hotel was just stunning. Stunning. But I want to marry someone that owns hotels as well. Because I like being in a hotel. For wholesome things, obviously. But I really like being in a hotel. So if I marry someone that owns hotels in different areas of the world, how lit would that be?
Would you just live in hotels? Or would you?
Yes, I would like to live in a hotel, you know. You know, like where you have like a London Tipton from Disney Channel back in the day. She just lived in a hotel. And then like the penthouse suite, that's where we live.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so lit.
That would be sick to be fair.
That would be so lit. Because obviously it will be a home. It would be like a massive apartment. But it's just situated in a hotel.
Yeah.
I would love to live in a hotel.
That would be sick to be fair. That would be sick.
It would be sick. But you know when you're on holidays, certain things, because I can't go away for too long, but certain things you just have to miss, like the littlest. I mean, I've missed fried yam. Yeah. I was definitely not getting that up in the Spain Islands. And I just missed my hair oil. It's very random, but I didn't pack my hair oil, and I was like, I could really do with some hair oil. But I had a good time. Lovely birthday, and see what this year has to bring to my table. Boy.
We thank God.
Thank God indeed.
Only good things will come to your table.
The images I'm seeing?
Amen.
Is this what it looks like?
Yeah, pretty much, but not. I feel like that's a mix of different places. I could have showed you actually.
This looks beautiful. Spain.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the view from my hotel. I don't know if you can see it.
Wow.
So it's very like landscapey and just. Should I send it to you to put it on the thing, or do you don't need to?
You don't need to.
Okay, that's all right. So I mean, like it's just so like it was just like mountains and like the skies, and it's so beautiful. And they had like so many pools in the hotel, and they had one that's like it's a secret pool or whatever, but it's like it's at the point, at the highest point of the hotel, and the view from there is just it's breathtaking. Like God is such an artist, man. Like yeah, so I was really obsessed with that. Really, really obsessed with that. I am obviously a bit interesting the way I think. I just think, I wonder if there's a dead body in the mountains somewhere. I mean, I wonder if there's just a body lurking in there that no one.
It probably is.
Yeah, it probably is because there's a lot of mountains, and I was like, if I'm sure UK would have tried somehow to see if they can buy some land and build on it. The amount of empty space they have there is crazy.
Yeah. 100%.
We couldn't have that here.
But you'd be surprised though. There's bare parts of this country that's just not cultivated. It's just a normal, regular land.
I feel like it's like white areas though. Do you know what I mean? So they wouldn't want to build there. Because they get to build whatever it is that they want there. But if this kind of land was available here, hella like stupid buildings and costas and all sorts would have been there.
Definitely.
But no. But yeah, man, I had a good time. It was fun. It was nice.
That's good.
Glad to be back. Back in the grind of
good.
things. All right, not topic of the day. Question of the day. What is your favorite thing to drink? Oh, I don't know.
Probably the water right now.
I like a Nigerian Fanta. I would say Nigerian Fanta. I don't drink it often.
I had one the other day,
Obviously.
actually.
Say again?
I had one the other day.
There's just I don't know what they put in it.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's nice.
completely. Yeah.
And it doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. I don't believe so.
I don't think so either.
Because I've been to like other countries and the Fanta didn't. It's not it.
They have more sugar in it.
It's just more orange. You know, it's more vitamins in there.
More sweet than probably, isn't it?
It's definitely sweeter. Because the ones here like pale, but
Yeah,
over there it's actual like orange.
Yeah.
Have you ever tasted it?
Me?
Yeah.
No, but I know that the sweet drink in Trinidad is different than a sweet drink over. The fizzy drink
Okay.
is different. We call it a sweet drink, for obvious reasons.
Sweet.
So that's why I was asking if it's the same in Nigeria.
Okay.
Sure, and then put that sugar in there.
To be fair, but it doesn't taste sugary. It just tastes like flavor.
Yeah, it's where this country took the sauce from to dilute it.
Yes. Yes.
It's same in Trinidad.
Ugh.
But it's the sugar. It's the flavor.
I love it so much, man.
Yeah.
I would say that's my favorite drink.
It's interesting. And it's the normal orange, yeah?
Yeah, just the Fanta.
Jeez.
Don't need other flavors, just Fanta. I mean, other flavors are best with flavors as well. I feel like that I can taste the sugar in
Yeah, okay.
the other flavors of like drinks in Nigeria, but the Fanta just tastes so Fanta-y goodness. Oh, so good.
I don't know why Nigeria has a lot of these like drinks that's different but much better. Like even Guinness as well.
Yes, I don't like Guinness though.
Yeah, so it's definitely not for everybody. But the Nigerian Guinness is better than
Where is that?
Yeah, it's better than the original Guinness.
And super malt.
No, I don't like Supermalt.
Oh, is
Oh,
it?
actually, I shouldn't say that. Supermalt was great. Supermalt was fantastic. Because they like to send people Christmas packages and I would like one. So Supermalt was great. I'm more of a Maltina kind of girl.
Okay.
Because in Nigeria, that's the main brand in Nigeria. I feel like Supermalt was a brand here. In Nigeria, it's
definitely,
Maltina.
yeah.
And it's Guinness Malta.
Guinness Malta, yeah.
Oh, Guinness Malta
Yeah.
slaps.
Yeah.
That's the same in Trinidad.
Yeah.
Malta.
It's where the sugar's at.
Guinness.
Yeah.
But it tastes fantastic.
It's so good.
Malta.
I like Mighty Malt though, man. I think that's my
I like
favorite.
Mighty Malt also, but that's very sugary though.
It is, yeah.
It's very sugary.
Yeah.
And malt is a meal. Like it's like I feel like it's like a meal meal
Pretty
supplement.
much, man.
It should be heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go to Nigeria and eat food.
I'm not sure what my favorite drink is, you know. It might be first thing that comes to mind, coconut water
Okay.
or palm wine.
Yeah, palm wine is lit.
Yeah. Real palm wine, not the palm wine.
Yeah,
here,
not
though.
not the one in the bottle where you
Nah.
open and then it's got like a little fizz. It's stupid.
Rubbish.
The actual local
Yes,
palm wine,
Exactly.
shit would get you
Exactly.
tipsy as heck.
What does it taste like? Is it, both of you say it's lit, right? And is it alcoholic?
Yeah.
Yes.
But does it taste like a cocktail?
No, not how you think of a cocktail.
Is it sweet?
It can be.
It can be sweet.
It can be, depending on the.
It's definitely not like
But they tap it.
you know, like a bitter like alcohol type drink. It's not like that at all. Like it's a drink you can enjoy, and you just keep drinking, and like you won't even notice how strong
Look at
it
his
is.
face.
Really? Is it really though?
Not for
I
real.
think-
Palm wine, yeah.
It's an interesting drink. It's not like it wouldn't be my go-to, but for the culture, I would have some. Do you get what I mean? But it's not the sweetest drink. You can't just like have it like it's a shot or something. It's more of a sip and enjoy kind of drink.
Now I need to taste it.
You do. It's nice.
How can I get it?
But that's the thing that I think when I go to, next time I go to Nigeria,
You have to.
no, because the ones here are not, they're like bottled ones.
It's not. They stopped the
So-
fermentation process.
Yeah, you need.
It's crap.
Actually, I don't think you ever taste unless you go to Africa, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Is
that.
it?
Because
Yeah.
it keeps fermenting. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, typically they put it in like plastic bottles and it just expands.
Yeah.
But here, within the glass bottles, like it's like
do nothing.
0.1% alcohol in it. 0.1, you know,
Is that a bad thing?
it's crap. You're not tasting anything.
Even them little Smirnoff little mixer shakers have more.
Exactly, it's like 4 or
They're
5%. 0.1.
Yeah, you actually have to be back home to taste it properly.
Bear in mind, I don't like alcohol. So if you guys are screaming, there's not enough alcohol in the ones over here. Am I gonna like the palm wine though?
No, because the thing is, you're gonna taste the ones over here, and it's gonna put you off wanting to ever taste it again because it's gonna be crap. The ones here are not it
Yeah,
at all.
and they're overpriced too.
And it doesn't taste similar to the one that is authentically Nigerian in
No,
Nigeria.
not to me. Because something about when it's fresh, yeah. That is where it's at.
It's like sake in Japan or China.
Japanese. I ain't had that.
Something tells me you just pronounced that wrong.
Probably.
Because when you said that, I
Is
thought
it
you meant a
sake?
shake, but
No. The wine that they drink over there in China, they make from rice, I think. Is it rice?
rice water.
I don't know what it's made from. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. But I've never had that before.
Because every time I see that, people be like, oh, this is nice, but it doesn't look like it's nice. It looks misty.
Not misty.
Like it's not supposed to taste like it's nice.
Have you ever tasted it?
Because
Because I thought that was a noodle. Like a noodle soup.
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sake or something like that.
Sake.
Oh, you don't have to do all of that. But it's nice.
Palm wine.
It's nice.
All right.
It's lit.
I wanna
Speaking of
taste it,
Ashake, by the way, if anyone's got tickets going, I don't want to pay for them, by the way. Let me know. Drop my DM.
Birthday gift.
Birthday, thank you. Birthday gift. And if you're cute, you want to take me on a date to Ashake, that'd be fun as well. I went on a date to a concert one time with a guy. It was very awkward.
What was it? What?
I didn't like him like that. I wanted to see J. Cole, so I went. I hope he's not listening to this, but we had our differences, and rightfully so. He was ridiculous. He was not a very interesting person.
What was it?
He was just like too much and just very like annoying and just very intense so quickly. And it was just unnecessary. It was just very like, he just had situations that he made me uncomfortable. Not in a weird way, but because he was doing weird things.
Okay. Like what?
As in like, just talking too much. It's just like, why are you doing this? I remember he wanted me to speak to his mum, and I was like, I don't want to do that.
Oh, was it? Straight away? Like how long?
Bro,
How long into the...
it wasn't long enough. And I was like, I don't want to speak to your mum. And then I could hear his mum talking about like, who? And I just said, like, you are a liability to me. You are a liability. I remember telling him, I remember afterwards, I said, don't ever do that again. I don't ever put me in such a position where I have to speak to somebody unprovoked. He also did something else, but I can't really say that on air because it's a bit much.
But isn't that good though, Esther?
No, it's not.
A man showing intention early. No.
If I don't like you, you can show the intention from here to Timbuktu, brother. I don't care. Because I'm not feeling it. And I think that's just what it was. I just wasn't feeling it. But I also don't want to meet your parent too quick. That's weird to me. Like, isn't your family precious? I could be a witch. You don't know me. I could be a witch. I could be a killer. And you want to introduce your family to this?
It was love at first sight.
Oh, stupid love. Take that off. No, I don't believe in all of that crap. Nah, man. But big up him anyway. If you want to take me to Ashake, well, I won't come here with a story time about you. All right, let's get into our headlines.
All right. So our first headline, guess who's back in the news? It's not Boris. That's a hint. It's Liz Truss.
Liz Truss. It's always one of the conservatives.
It's one of
anyway,
them.
to
It's
be
one
fair.
of them. Well, at least two
Is she
people.
Prime Minister?
No, well, now? Or was...
Rishi is right.
Yeah, Rishi.
Okay,
Yeah,
why is
Rishi-
she in the
Rishi-
news?
Huh?
Why should he then?
Oh, well, basically, I'll get into it. It'll make sense. It'll make sense.
She's already got her settlement payment. Why is she around?
And you know what's bad about it as well, yeah. Anyway, it will make sense. So basically, at least 2 people have reportedly turned down honours from Liz Truss, with one apparently being too humiliated to accept a nomination from the UK's shortest-serving Prime Minister. Can you imagine?
That's so good.
So Truss's 14-strong list, right, which equates to an honour for every 3.5 days of a 49-day tenure, is said to be currently being vetted by the House of Lords Appointments Commission. South West Norfolk MP, who replaced Boris Johnson in Downing Street last September, had nominated 4 people for life peerages and 12 for honours, including knighthoods, damehoods, and OBEs, according to the Times. One source told the newspaper they felt it would be humiliating to receive an honour from Truss, while another aide said they did not deserve it. The nominated life peers are reported to include Sir John Moynihan, a Conservative Party donor, Matthew Elliott, who ran the Brexit campaign in 2016, and Ruth Porter, who's Truss's Deputy Chief of Staff in number 10. Another life peer is understood to be Mark Littlewood, the outgoing head of the Institute of Economic Affairs, which is a think tank that had supported her mini-budget as well. Next headline takes us, well, still in the UK, where MPs have called on the UK government to tackle tech abuse, right? So, trigger warning here, guys. So, tech abuse, right? As they warned, devices including smart home security systems were being used to coerce and control victims of domestic abuse. The Culture, Media and Sport Committee launched an inquiry last year to consider the benefits and harms of connected technology, including virtual assistants and fitness trackers. Evidence submitted to the committee suggested most domestic abuse cases in the UK now feature some sort of cyber element, where, for instance, a perpetrator can use spyware or other connected devices to monitor the movements of their victims. The report calls on the government to tackle technology facilitated abuse as a priority. It also notes that the criminal justice response to tech is lacking. The recommendations include training police to respond better to tech abuse and increasing awareness of specialist services tackling violence against women and girls. As part of the report, the committee also calls for action to protect the privacy and rights of children who are more connected than ever at home and in school. The committee, also last bit, the committee has recommended that the government empowers users, particularly children, to exercise their rights over their personal data through intuitive product design, clearer terms and conditions, and digital literacy schemes. And the last headline, remember, we haven't heard a lot about this Rwanda scheme for a while, innit?
Oh, yeah.
So this is a bit of an update. So ministers are drawing up proposals to send channel migrants to Ascension Island, right, if the Rwanda scheme falters. As part of the radical Plan B, believed to be in its very early stages, illegal immigrants will be transferred 4,000 miles to the British Overseas Territory in the South Atlantic. As a further fallback, up to 5 other countries, all believed to be in Africa, are in negotiations with the Home Office to take those who arrive in small boats or in the back of lorries under schemes similar to the deal with Kigali. The number of small boat migrants to have arrived in Britain so far this year has topped 15,000, with more expected in the coming days as the weather improves. Home Office ministers have yet to rule out the backup plan. Home Office ministers have yet to rule which backup plan is the most likely option for development in the event of the Rwanda scheme being ultimately blocked, right? And the £140 million agreement with Kigali was declared unlawful on human rights grounds by the Court of Appeal in June. And under the deal, channel migrants and other irregular arrivals will be sent to the Rwandan capital to claim asylum there rather than here. Again, obviously, we spoke about this last year when this was fresh in the news under Priti Patel, but that's a bit of an update. It's looking like MPs are planning for a Plan B. And that's it for the headlines.
Thank you. Let's get into what you're saying, topic of the day.
All right, people. Where do I start? So, as you guys know, a lot of things happened over the weekend, right? Some very sad news. And I think, yeah, it was. I'm even trying to find it so I can read it. I don't even know why I didn't screenshot it.
Do you want me to? I've got it.
Oh, thank you very much.
I thought I was going to talk about it on thingy.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let me take you guys there. So follow me because you will miss this. you will 100% miss something. Should I read the initial thing and then...
Yes, the initial thing.
Yeah, okay. So, Jamie Foxx, who was ill. Jamie Foxx, who is a jack of several trades, and he does all of them well. Jamie Foxx, who nearly died the other day, who we nearly lost.
Yes.
Jamie Foxx, who is that one person that is loved by multiple communities, put up an Instagram post. And the post just said, they killed this dude named Jesus. What do you think they'll do to you? Hashtag fake friends. Hashtag fake love.
Yes.
That's what Jamie Foxx put up.
Now, for those who are unaware, right, who don't know about what happened to Mr. Jamie Foxx, right, after he put out this tweet, there was a lot of backlash, especially coming from a particular community, right? And they pretty much accused him of being anti-Semitic.
Okay, before you say that,
Yes.
so apparently there's a anti-Semitic watchdog, like a watch page that does these things, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Jennifer Aniston must have liked, because she can relate to fake friends and fake love, so she double tapped it. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So this page must have then put up a screenshot, and it said, actor Jamie Foxx posts horrifically anti-Semitic message to his 16.7 million followers, right? But obviously, when you look at the picture, his picture, because Jennifer Aniston is stupid famous, it says liked by Jennifer Aniston and others, right? So sis must have peeped that, and I guess, I don't know who must have come to her. I feel like she threw one of the bus. Because I saw a lot of Jewish people saying, it's clear what he's talking about. I personally think, because this is what I was going to talk about on Word and Road, I was going to say she fed him to the wolves. So then she basically screenshot that and put on her story. She said, this makes me sick. I did not like this post on purpose or by accident. And more importantly, I want to be clear to my friends and anyone hurt by this showing up in their feeds. I do not support any form of anti-Semitism, and I truly don't tolerate hate of any kind, period.
Yeah.
I think she made it worse.
I think she did too.
She's got more followers than Jamie Foxx. So, and I didn't see anything about anti-Semitism until she went to recant the post.
And this is the thing. I think the reality is nobody saw anything about anti-Semitic stuff in that post. I kind of want to ask you guys your opinion, yeah, when you first saw it, when you first saw what he wrote, and then also when you heard that there was backlash behind it. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't see the post initially. I saw just the backlash.
Okay.
So I saw the report about the post and the backlash, but I didn't see the post in isolation. There's nothing anti-Semitic I can see here. I know what he's referring to, and that's it for me. There's no real story here for me. The only thing I can maybe take away is he said this dude named Jesus. I guess that's the most offensive part of the post is referring to Jesus as
a dude.
as a dude. Apart from calling Jesus a dude, I see nothing wrong with this.
Yeah, and even that, he took it up with Jesus.
Exactly. And that wouldn't be offensive to Jews.
But do you know what the crazy thing is though? Like Judas, because whenever I see stuff about they betrayed Jesus and whatnot, I always think Judas. Judas literally sold Jesus, what was it, 30 shekels of silver or something like that? Do you get me? 30 pieces of silver or whatever. So it's about Judas, and Judas was Jesus' friend.
Yeah.
Jesus had 12 friends while he was on earth. Those were his closest friends, those were his best friends. And his best friend did betray him and got him killed. Do you get me? So I do think what it is though is a culture. It's not understanding each other's cultures. Every black person on earth, when you talk about Jesus being betrayed, know you're about to go into a whole spiel about fake friends.
Also,
everyone knows that.
Why wouldn't this be offensive to Christians? Why is it just Jews?
But that's the thing though. But it's facts. Judas did betray Jesus.
No, I know. I'm saying, why?
I get your question.
Yeah, why isn't this post being relayed to Christianity as opposed to just being relayed to Judaism?
Because basically, I don't know, I guess I should say allegedly, if the word of God doesn't, but allegedly, the Jews were the ones who crucified Jesus because he came and said he's the king of the Jews and he was not believed to be the king of the Jews.
Okay.
So he was essentially killed by his own people.
Okay.
That's basically it.
That's why they thought when he said they killed Jesus, he's talking about the people that killed Jesus, not Judas.
Okay. Exactly.
Even though I don't know how we go there.
And basically what they're saying is throughout history, what's happened is Jews have been persecuted for that particular belief.
Okay.
So there were apparently Christians, when Christians kind of got into power, especially when the Romans, the Roman Empire became a Christian state, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the time they kind of used the whole, well, you guys killed our Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't like you type of thing. And that's the whole thing that they kind of brand as, well, that's an anti-Semitic trope. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
and that's what they saw Jamie Foxx post being?
Yeah, but then I feel like the hashtags just says everything, though.
Of course
It
it
says
does.
hashtag fake friends, hashtag fake. Jesus wasn't friends with every Jew. He even spread his word to the Gentiles, to non-Jews. Do you get what I mean? So, like, what are you talking about? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's
Now that you've given me that little bit of information, I can see why they may have taken it the way they did. Because he did say they, which is plural, and not him. So by saying they, it might imply that you're talking about Jews as a whole as opposed to talking about Judas in isolation. So reading this again with that bit of
Context.
information, saying they killed implies a wider scope as opposed to saying, as opposed to talking about Judas. Obviously, when you look at the hashtags, then
Yeah.
obviously you get what he's trying to imply. But when you just say they killed, it does give a wider scope to it.
But that's the beautiful thing about the post. He included the hashtags. So we can't read it in isolation and just say, you know what, they said da-da-da-da. He said fake friends, fake love.
Yeah, it's true.
He's talking about something that's personal to him.
But again, I'm still on the side of I think this isn't anti-Semitic, but I'm just trying to
understand why they would think
dissect
that.
it a bit more.
But then,
And people can read something and not really take in the hashtags. You know what I mean, like
that's true.
certain things could be overlooked. They may have overlooked the fake friend, fake love, and again, you can still apply the hashtags to the they anyway, right?
Okay, actually.
Yeah, like fake friends can still apply to
Yeah.
to the they killed, right?
Because to be fair, it was loved for a while and then they got killed. Isn't it? I do think it's a cultural thing there, because for the most part, black people know whenever we talk about Jesus being betrayed, is the fact that he was betrayed by a friend. It's always like whenever you hear Jesus and betrayal in a sentence, in a story, in anything, it's always about Judas Iscariot. It's never ever been about Jews. It's never ever been about who is it? Was it Pilate or what was it? Herod?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
Do you
Herod,
know what I mean?
Pontius
It's never
Pilate, all them.
it's never been about anybody else other than Judas. Judas has had a bad rep since he did what he did. Do you get what I mean? So I do think there is that culture difference. But I think what's interesting though is that even in that there wasn't like a. So obviously when Kanye did certain things that he did, yeah, there was consensus that Kanye was anti-Semitic with every Jewish person, right? But with this, there's so many Jewish people in his comments, in his messages. He even put one of them up and stuff. He was like, I didn't read this as that. I read this as you're talking about fake friends and stuff like that. I personally feel like Jennifer Aniston did this. It's funny because they got a picture together and someone said, this is the fake friend he must have been talking about, because look at that. Case in point.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Ben, what were your thoughts when you first saw this?
First of all, I thought, he's apologizing very quickly.
Very
And
quickly.
He doesn't mind apologizing very quickly. So if he doesn't mind, I'm not
Why
going
am
to bother. I also remembered when Kanye West was doing his press run, his Down with the Jews press run. They had asked Jamie Foxx to comment on it, and he was like, nope, not speaking ill of my brother.
Not that for him.
Oh, as in the brother being Kanye or
Yes.
the Jewish brothers? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So obviously, I then saw why this became so big, which was that lady from Friends,
Yeah.
and I didn't understand her post though. She said she didn't like it
She
on
did.
purpose or by accident. I don't know.
Goddamn
Yes.
liar.
I think she just meant like she didn't. Hold on.
Because it seemed like she was saying, almost like someone edited it. Because I didn't
Yeah,
click
she's
it
like,
on purpose
no,
or
she said,
even on
okay.
accident.
Yes, I didn't like it on purpose or by accident. Girl,
That's
what's
what
your
I'm
story? She said, I did not like, as in quote unquote, like this comment on purpose or by accident.
Yeah, so I didn't understand that.
Yeah. She's
Anyway.
basically saying she was either hacked or someone's just done a fake
What's this Jennifer Aniston?
thingy. Yeah, because she's lying. This is what they do. Now I have to
Jennifer,
clarify
I
who the
really
they
like.
is.
I like Jennifer Aniston. She's one of my favorite girls. I really like her,
I used to.
and I just thought, not you. I wish you didn't do this.
And then obviously, what I didn't like was the co-op from the Whytes now looking to decide that this is what it is he did, and he needs to be removed off the back of that.
You don't get removed nowhere.
Yeah, so
That man is a national treasure.
yeah, I'm interested to see what he says after the fact now, because a lot of celebrities have come out in defense, right? And it's a good point that Yusuf made.
Did you say defense?
Some celebrities are coming out in his defense, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a good point that Yusuf made. Because you are saying, Emmanuel, throughout your knowing of that particular anecdote, you've only known it to mean Judas, right?
Yeah.
But as Yusuf said, he used they in it, right? They is plural. And obviously, as you know,
Sometimes plural.
sometimes plural, yeah. Obviously, nowadays, it could be one person.
All right.
Which was pointed out beautifully by somebody in chat. But I don't think they abided by that particular understanding.
Judas was
back
not
in the
alive
day.
enough
Yeah.
to
yeah.
change his gender or anything like that.
So I was looking for the types of Jewish people who were basically looking to say that was anti-Semitic,
Yeah.
and I had trouble finding them in large quantities.
Okay.
So even if it was something that they saw as anti-Semitic over the years, obviously the fact that it's on a massive platform now is why it is, I guess, certain people are looking to quote unquote address it. But if it is that the platforms I normally look for during these particular times to see if it is they're coming out saying this, that, and the next aren't doing that in mass, then I have to start questioning like what are going on, right? Especially on Jamaican Independence Day. Do you understand? It's very,
The
very
most important day, imagine.
100%. Let me take
How rude.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. Because like I said, Jamie quickly came out and apologized.
Because
So
the man
I'm-
was nearly dead.
I'm guessing somebody close to him advised him to do so, because he may not have known, oh, this is what's happening. So whatever it was, he was prompted to come out and apologize. And once a man in that particular position does that, I can't be fighting on his behalf. I mean, for him. Do you understand?
Yeah, 'cause they
I
already
know what
squashed it.
you're going to start doing, Emmanuel, because you think it's ridiculous, but you think all of it is ridiculous, right? But if he said, hey, I'm not fighting for this, why are you doing it?
Brent,
Do you have a show to do? What kind of question is that?
No, but Brent, you're making an excellent point. And I think maybe I need to adopt that, right? Where it's like, no, if this grown-ass man is okay with apologizing, I'll leave it as apologizing, right? And
Oh, did you have an issue with him apologizing?
not,
Oh.
okay, wait.
Okay, I get Brent's line of questioning now. I was thinking, what?
Because I don't understand. Why is he apologizing though?
You know what? It's one of those things because I feel like the thing with offense, what's interesting about offense, causing offense, yeah, is that sometimes you don't understand how it is that you cause offense to someone.
Very true.
And especially if it's to do with like a people, a community, anything like that. You might not understand how your actions incites hate or perpetuates hate or whatever, because again, there's a culture difference, right? So for me, I feel like if someone is offended by something I've done, I can apologize to you. It doesn't take away anything from me to apologize because I have offended you. It wasn't my intention, but I have offended you by doing what I've done. And I apologize for that. Do you get what I mean? Because kind of like how, sometimes some white people will say something about black people. And black people are like, babes, that's racist. And then they'll be like, no, it's not. You can't really tell me as a black person that what you've done is not racist. I'm the one who is on the offended side, so I can let you know that this is offensive. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like it's kind of like that, where if that's the case, I think with the Jewish community, a lot of it is, this is how, I think from previous conversations we've had and things I've read and whatever, it's like this type of hate being there is damaging, and it has caused a lot of pain and hurt and killings and stuff like that in our history.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where it's like, I think it's just easier to apologize.
I hear you. But am I allowed to say this then? Am I allowed to say them forcing him?
But they didn't,
They did. They 100% did. 100%. We didn't see it, but they did. Right?
I
They
think
do
it
all the
just got a
time. They
call
do all
from
the
Jonah
time.
Hill or Kevin Hart saying, hey,
Also-
There was
you're
an
getting
article
cooked.
in the Times of Israel calling him anti-Semitic. Everyone knows when you get labeled anti-Semitic, your career is on the brinks. Within minutes, they come out.
But also, no one here knows Jamie Foxx. So Jamie Foxx might be anti-Semitic. We don't know.
Yusuf.
No, I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying we're here.
We actually don't know.
We're here fighting tooth and nail for a man like we don't know. We don't know. we don't know his truth. We don't know his truth.
That's true. But he's come out to apologize for it, and he means that
because he's in Hollywood and he has to.
This is the money.
Yeah, true. That is true. But I personally don't think that he meant to be anti-Semitic, because it's something that all of us as black people resonate with. We understand that same subject. Like I said, the Times of Israel came out saying Jamie Foxx says they killed this dude named Jesus in post echoing anti-Semitic tropes. Once you've done that to somebody, you're in trouble.
Do you know the issue though as well? It's like Yusuf said, it's grammar. It's grammar, man. That day is what really messed him up.
Fake friends, plural. Everyone understands fake friends.
That's the thing though. Jesus only had one fake friend that killed him.
No, he had it in...
Hey.
Wait. You know what? No. Wait. No, let's be 100% real.
In terms of this...
Let's be 100% real now, right?
You just said that he didn't mean to be anti-Semitic.
Who?
You just said he didn't intend to be anti-Semitic.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
So, okay, so if he did intend to do it, right, but then found out that he may have done it, isn't apologizing something that he would do?
This is why, like Esther said, I agree with that sentiment, because at the end of the day, I could say something that offends you, and I don't know, and I don't even mean to. But because I care about how you feel about it, I'll come and say, you know what, I'm sorry. But I also say, okay, fine. If we want to humble ourselves and say, you know what, as human beings, let's be cordial and let's understand, for the sake of us getting together and being friends going forward, apologize to me too for being anti-black. For suggesting that me speaking about something in my culture, which is unique to us and that we all understand as black people, for suggesting I mean to hurt you. Apologize for saying that how we speak is wrong and offensive. Do that, and then we could be on the same page. Don't tell me it's just anti-Semitic and leave it there. It's not right. Anyway.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, caller.
Call back, please, Christy.
Oh.
Thank you.
Christy should have come in today.
It's her birthday as well, yesterday.
Yes, big up
Yesterday,
Christy.
is it?
Yeah.
Hello.
Happy
Good morning.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Brent has to be nice to you because it's your birthday this week, by the way.
Always.
In terms of the funny thing is, I've actually heard white people say this. I mean, granted, it was white Irish people because obviously they're Catholic, who are Catholic. I've heard them say this term about, if they kill Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's not even, I don't even think it's synonymous with even black people.
Yeah.
So I've actually heard them say this. So
I don't think it just needs to be one particular demographic. It could be any particular demographic. No?
It's just a
I don't
narrative.
think that's a point.
Pardon?
I don't think it's a point, what you've just said.
No, I think she's trying to say that basically it's not something that is like unique to us, where it's like, okay, they've never heard of it. It's actually a popular thing that people say.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Be familiar with it.
What do you mean?
Be familiar with the thing.
It being familiar in people's lexicon doesn't mean that it's not anti-Semitic, is what I'm saying.
No, but it means that you should know that we don't mean it to be. It's got nothing to do with you.
But
Nobody
I
thinking
hear
about you.
the intent, but again, you go back to the whole, if it is deemed as such, and they have shared that they have deemed it as such, bear in mind, this is the point I'm making. I'm not saying I don't want to get on to the people who were piling on in this, that, next, because that's where my gripe is, right?
Yeah.
Because if he's come out to say sorry, don't continue to be claiming that this is what he did. They've now put up a clip when it is that he did, I think, Saturday Night Live and talked about the Django, this, that, and the next. Responding, I think, by him saying, I kill a whole set of white people. Right? So they've now used that clip to basically justify why is it they pile onto him. Nah, I don't like that. And that's what I would get onto them for. But this point of he didn't mean it to be something, but if it is something, him coming to apologize, I understand that.
Okay.
Sorry, Christy.
No, I don't understand it. Sorry, I don't. But again, this just again speaks to everyone's afraid of the boogeyman, but because it just they've got themselves into a position where this can be a narrative that can be run, unfortunately, and it's like no one can stand against it, or so hence why I feel like the apology came so quickly. Like it's like everyone's in panic mode. The house is on fire now. We need to put water on it and like put the fire out by quickly apologizing. Like it's literally like it's not even a second thought at this point. Jennifer Aniston also comes out. It's just like she to me made it 10 times worse because it's just like it, I'm just over everyone rushing to the defense, and then everything being labeled as anti-Semitic when it isn't. And it's just like, when there's actually real anti-Semitism going on, I feel like it just even takes away from their actual point. Is it every day that we're gonna have to rush to like this term? Like everyone, it's just. I don't know, man. I just feel like, again, black people become the scapegoat when it comes to these things, and then everything else gets overlooked. But this has to be like now a point now. It's just. I'm just so tired of it. I'm just like, what, like, how even with that hashtag, how it could be. I don't know how it was interpreted that way. I personally don't. But again, I get that that's been a narrative before for them. But with the hashtag, it's like, oh, come on, like come on. And also, it wasn't just Judas that didn't. Peter also denied Jesus.
Yeah.
So that in turn was also betrayal. So
Okay, well,
it's not like it was a singular person.
Yeah,
Judas,
I
there was
more than two people.
I
There's a plural.
hear that, but they didn't kill Jesus. Don't kiss it.
Okay.
If we're talking about this, let us talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
The two people that you just mentioned, Judas and Peter,
Yeah.
denied him, yes?
Yeah.
And it led to what?
His death.
No, Peter denied him. What's it called?
Judas gave
Judas
him up.
led him. Judas handed him to the authorities.
So when you just said Peter denied him, were you referencing he did the same thing as Judas? Manuel?
I'm referencing that also led to that though. If you're going to deny him and you're not even going to speak up, I feel like that goes in the same pot.
Look at this.
To me.
Okay.
Nah, it doesn't,
It's not the same. It's not
Because he denied Jesus in the garden. Jesus was already on trial. It was just this little maiden girl, the waitress, who was like, "Oh, don't you know him?" And she's like, "No, I don't." Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's not the same level as how Judas actually led the people that wanted to kill him to Jesus. I feel like that's different.
And I can hear you saying that speaks to fake friends, but that doesn't speak to what Judas did.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brent, would you say Judas was complicit in his death?
100%.
Okay, would you say other Jews were complicit in his death?
100%. This is what I'm saying. This is why they're getting up in arms, because everybody knows it was the Jews that did it.
All right then.
But what is all right then?
But this is what I'm trying to
You're
say
not
to you.
listening to what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, Brent. I understand perfectly.
What am I saying, young man?
You're saying because they say they and because there's truth to it, this is why they're saying, look, he's
you,
obviously talking
you
about us.
also told Yusuf
Yes.
over
What's
the
being
course of
used.
his
Yeah, of
yes.
course.
So please, I can't stress enough. If he's apologized, that is him.
Yeah, 100%.
I cannot be. What I can fight on for is the pylon.
And you know what? Can I read certain things, right? Because I happen to screenshot certain things because I'm not on Twitter that much, right? But then I saw a bunch of stuff being thrown around, right? And somebody said, Jamie Foxx posted an apology, but the damage has been done. A lot of ignorance exposed. He needs to speak on why and how his poorly chosen words revived an old anti-Semitic trope. The Jews are not to blame for every personal grievance someone has. We're not your scapegoat. This is what somebody wrote. Right? Somebody said, I'm really tired of Jews with big platforms, especially those who work in Jewish education and advocacy, belittling Jamie Foxx's words or claiming only idiots would think Jamie meant Jews. So this speaks to you, Brent, when you mentioned how some Jews were defending him, right? This person's come and said, you Jewish people, my fellow Jewish friends, brothers and all that, don't defend them. If any of these people saw the original post, that's what this person's saying, they would see that many thousands of people commented, and most of the comments were anti-Semitic. That's how thousands of people who saw it interpreted it and used it as an opportunity to spew more anti-Semitism. So it certainly wasn't just the Jews who saw it. This is what they're saying, right? Well, this person's saying anyway. He also shared a story invoking Judas. Whether intended or not, Jamie Foxx shared an anti-Semitic trope that's been used for thousands of years as a basis to kill and mistreat Jews, right? Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Aniston each issued apologies. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But the trope that Jews killed Jesus is so old, so dangerous, and so pervasive that the Vatican itself apologized for it. We don't care what the Vatican say. The Pope don't speak for all of Christendom. That's the first thing, right? Another thing, we must address subtle, unconscious microaggressions against minorities in our speech. Just one other person said, except Jews. How? Don't reflect on the imagery of crisis killers and how that libel of treachery has been used to butcher them. But microaggressions against other minorities is violence. What are we talking about here? It's like, to me, right, and I guess this is my issue, right? I feel like there's just no attempt to understand what he's saying. There's no attempt to listen to what we're saying. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is thinking about the Jewish community. Nobody. If you feel like he is, fine. Allow us to correct you. But you think that we're just chatting crap. And then on top of that, put it in your newspapers so quickly and brandish him as anti-Semitic. To ruin him. To the point that he has to come out so quickly and say, guys, I'm sorry for offending you. And like you're saying, Brent, fine. Sometimes we do offend people without knowing, 100%. So I shouldn't begrudge him too much on the apology. But like I said earlier, if I have to apologize to you, I want you to apologize to me. Apologize for thinking that the way I'm speaking about something black people resonate with, something that's within our culture. And like Chrissy even said, outside of our culture, that is deemed something that we would use to attack you. We're not thinking about you. So apologize for even thinking that.
Don't say we.
But do you know what the issue is as well, yeah? Because that quote looked like it came from a meme page. That's the problem when you start reposting memes and reposting these quote pages without really thinking about what the consequences should be. I don't have an issue with. I think he's right to apologize because again of the whole offense thing that I explained earlier. But I think too much is given, or much is expected, whatever that saying is. And the reality is that he's a celebrity. He's a celebrity in Hollywood. He knows what the situation is. He's seen hell of his friends be in certain situations. Unfortunately, you've got to be clued up. Obviously, I feel like this was an innocent thing, but this is why some celebrities are not the ones that make posts on their Instagram. They get it checked. I remember Wendy Williams, that was her thing. Like, even if she wanted to post a plate of her dinner, she had a social media person who knew about the culture, who knew about all these things, who knew different ways in which she could get cancelled or whatever, and she would get it checked with that person and do that. You're a celebrity. So unfortunately, it is going to catch the news when you say something. The same way it caught the news when he was in hospital within, 5 seconds? Mm-hmm. It's gonna be the same energy when it is that something happens. Do you get what I mean? So it's a shame, but I just think as a celebrity, as someone who is in public or whatever, you've got to think about the things that you say. You've got to be mindful about what it is that you put out there and whatever. It's expected, unfortunately. You want to be public, you want to live a public life, that's what's going to have to happen. That's what has to come with it, unfortunately. But
Can I ask you guys questions, right? Is Chrissy still on the phone? No, she's gone.
Yeah, because sorry, I want to ask, where do we draw the line though?
Yeah.
Like,
what?
at what point can we just say, like, where do we can draw the line? But like, we don't have to apologize to this.
Who's we?
What jar?
What, do you know what?
Brent said we is French, honey.
Well, okay, Jamie, that like,
To be honest, I didn't even heard this saying,
there's
I've never heard this saying
You
in my
really
life.
never?
I've never heard this saying in my life.
Oh,
What
baby, it's popular.
about there being
No,
Judas
as me drawing for it when it is somebody looks to be fake with me.
Now people always say that.
I said I've never.
I mean,
heard
a part of me thinks it's blasphemy because none of y'all Jesus, you deserve to be, to be fake friends out.
No, but that's the point of it.
It's very, very common. Do you get what I mean?
That's exactly the point. That Jesus, who's perfect, they can betray him. How much more us?
You've never heard that.
That's the point.
If they can betray Jesus, they can definitely, like, who am I?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Love your world.
That's
lit. So you've never heard that.
It's crazy to me. Like, can I just say another thing? Another person by the name of Brooke Goldstein, she said, once again, a celebrity, Jamie Foxx, fanning the flames of Jew hatred on social media. This blood libel has motivated violent acts of persecution against Jewish people for centuries. As a fellow minority, Jamie should know better how dangerous this is. I urge him to educate himself on this topic.
Is this the one where Marx was doing Sherlock Holmes about?
I'm not even sure.
Marx started doing investigative research. So basically, someone must have tweeted about Jamie Foxx or whatever. Then Marx saw that her tweets, she tweeted some anti-Semitic things in her time.
Oh, okay. You see?
I said, look at you, journalist. I don't know, man. I don't know about where we draw the line, but I think what it comes down to again is I'm not here for cancellations in it. I've always said about, unless you're like a sexual predator, I'm actually not here for cancellations. Because I think sometimes people don't know what they've done wrong. And when you tell somebody they're willing to learn from that and move forward in peace and harmony, then that's where I stand with cancellations. I'm not for cancel culture. So that part I don't agree with. I don't think that he should be cancelled for this. But in terms of where we draw the line, it's one of those things where sometimes you don't know you've offended people. But when they point out to you that you've offended them, all you have to do is put your hands up and say, my bad. And that's it.
Can I ask a question to the guys, right? To you guys? Because I'm not saying all of you understand or whatever it may be, right? But we're kind of getting to the point where it's like, okay, cool, we understand where this is coming from type thing and why the apology is there. And we're all on the same page, right?
Yeah.
But can I ask, after this apology, typically, right, if I've offended you, you tell me I've offended you and I apologize, I try my best not to do it again. Is this what we're saying now? Going forward, we can't use this phrase.
No, we just don't say they. Because when you say they, it implies multiple people. So just say, if Judas can betray Jesus, who am I?
Okay.
Hashtag fake friends.
That story of Judas, right, is based on, at least from a biblical standpoint, from a Christian standpoint, it's based on a historical fact. Am I right in saying that, Brent?
Yeah,
everybody?
Judas betrayed Jesus.
Okay, cool. It wasn't only Judas that was behind getting Jesus killed. We know this. The
But you know what it
Pharisees
is,
did
though?
it, the Sadducees did
But
it.
you know what the issue is, though?
Yeah.
When the Bible talks about the Pharisees and the Sadducees, it never, ever puts a prefix or afterfix of the betrayer. Every time Judas is introduced, well, nearly every time, he's introduced in the Bible as Judas, the one who betrayed Jesus, because there was another Judas who was a good guy. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So from the Bible only refers to one person as the betrayer. Like, for the fact that this man is introduced in books as Judas, the one who betrayed Jesus, if you want to talk about fake friends, just do that.
Yeah, because
Judas.
from my perspective, obviously not being a Christian, I've never heard of anyone else betraying Jesus but Judas.
This is it.
The word Judas has become not a slur,
No,
but
but it's like
it's become a reference for a snake.
Exactly.
Oh, you're a Judas, whatever.
Exactly.
So, to me, I've never, this whole Paul stuff, it's just been Judas my whole life.
And I think that's what. So I feel like if you want to post about the meme and post about fake friends and make Bible, connections or whatever, talk about Judas.
No, but you have to be 100% accurate, right? In the Bible, in the same Bible that we're talking about, right? I'm going to quote it for you. So no one says it's Iman facts, right? First epistle to the Thessalonians, it says, "For you, brethren, became imitators of the churches of God in Christ Jesus, which are in Judea." This is Paul writing, right? He says, "For you suffered the same things from your own countrymen as they did from the Jews, who killed both the Lord Jesus and the prophets." So,
where's the word betray? What we're talking about? No, Iman. What we're talking, if you want to do facts, what we're talking about is people using the language of your fake friends will betray you the way Jesus was betrayed by Judas.
Yeah.
That it does not talk about. It talks about killing.
Yeah.
But when we talk about fake friends, we're not talking about fake friends killing you. We're talking about fake friends betraying you. So we've got to keep. If we're gonna do the language, the vernacular, whatever, we need to keep it in line with Judas.
But also, is this the time for like semantics and like extreme analysis?
No.
I don't think Jamie Foxx even thought this deeply into.
You don't know where
his
Thessalonians
statement.
is.
And also, you have to be aware of the room in it. Like
This is it.
You're a celebrity. You've got millions of followers in it. You understand the atmosphere right now behind religious statements, Judaism, anti-Semitism. So you have to be careful with the posts and the things you choose to say. You could have expressed your disdain towards your friends not being there for you in another way. You don't have to use a religious statement to do it. You chose to do it, right? And I guess you didn't.
I disagree.
You could disagree. I'm not saying it for anyone to agree with me, but it's like. I don't think this needs to be like, semantics. Okay, who is he referring to? Whatever. You said it. You
But they use
apologize.
semantics to back up their argument.
What's that?
Because they're using semantics to back up the argument. Because he used they, that is why they're targeting him. Because they and then the hashtag fake friends to me means plural, right?
Yeah.
So he's not talking about one single friend. He said fake friends as in plural. So if he used they are also using that as a semantics.
Yeah, but we're speaking to the fact that
No. That ain't semantics.
We're speaking about how we're moving
means
forward.
plural. So
They is plural.
that's not semantic. That's what the word
Exactly.
But
means.
that's why we said that we could understand why they felt the way they felt because of they word.
Remember, my initial point was I can understand why they may feel the way they did because he made it plural.
Yeah.
No?
And then my saying this whole reference Judas, whatever, is about your question about where do you draw the line, how do you move forward? If someone wants to say this, and I'm saying you make it singular then, because we're talking about Judas then. I get why they said I get why they thought what they thought.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, I do. However, my thing is moving forward. If you must repost a meme, a quote, then you make it clear. Make it clear with Judas.
Can I say this, right? The whole thing that makes this anti-Semitic through the lens of a Jewish person, right? is this whole idea of something called Jewish deicide, right? Which is the idea that Jews are the people, or as a people, collectively responsible for the killing of Jesus, right? That's why this became an issue. It's not the whole Judas thing necessarily. He used it as the whole Judas thing, betraying fake friends, right? But the issue they had was the fact that he used the words they and killed Jesus. They killed Jesus.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
So when I'm bringing up the whole biblical thing where Paul himself is saying the Jews killed Jesus, where we can look through the first 4 Gospels, right, as Christian people, right, and know that it intimates there and it's said very clearly that the Jews were after him and they killed him, right? I don't understand why we're taking the time to basically say this is not the case. And the reason why I'm saying this is because where does the the reason why I'm saying this, right, is because where does the line get drawn, right?
But the line gets drawn in the fact that
You see what VADA is saying, Esther? His argument is this is true.
It's what?
His argument his argument is he did kill Jesus.
No, but that's fair.
can I say something?
But my
Also,
thing is,
right,
it's a
Educate me
hill.
educate me for a second, right?
Yeah.
If he was talking about Judas and Paul, yeah, could
Peter.
that
Not
Peter, sorry,
Yeah.
could that still be taken as being anti-Semitic? If he was just talking
Just
about
one person.
yeah.
If he was talking about Judas
So
and Paul,
yeah,
and
okay, cool.
Peter.
Let me rephrase it, right?
Good point.
If his post was Judas killed Jesus,
Yeah.
could Jews still be offended by that?
No.
If he said Judas and
Peter.
could they be offended by
No.
that?
No.
I think because he said they.
It's the they.
And I think it's the word killed as well.
So
Yeah.
educate me? Who else needs to be added to that equation for it to be anti-Semitic? I'm confused.
No, but it's just they. If you say they and kill, because basically Jesus was Jewish himself, right?
Yeah.
And so he said he was the king of the Jews. And then they didn't believe that he was the Messiah.
Yeah.
He got killed.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is. And knowing the history that Jewish people were then prosecuted or persecuted
Yeah.
by Christians, by like other denominations of Christians because they killed their savior.
Yeah.
It makes sense that having that. I didn't know that part,
Okay.
but having that context makes
Yeah.
sense. Why if they see they and killed Jesus, it's like this is what some of our people got killed for.
Yeah.
Because we allegedly killed Jesus.
And
Well,
is
not
that
allegedly, but-
the story you just told? That's worldly known. That's a fact.
yeah, that what
That Jews killed Jesus is believed. That's
that's what's in the Bible.
okay.
This is what I'm trying to say. However,
But the thing is, though, in the Bible, though, it's not just Jewish people that were part of the ones that killed Jesus. It was
Romans.
It was. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't a thing where it's just Jewish people that killed. Jesus was just killed blank.
Yeah.
Point, period. There was a hella races and
But-
hella people in there.
But the story is that Jews killed him.
100%.
Yeah, because it was the king. He came for the Jews.
Yeah.
They didn't accept him.
Yeah.
And he got killed.
Then I understand why they
This
think
is it?
what they think. Then.
But this is what we're trying to say. No. But again, this is what we're trying to say, right? But the reality is, if it's true from a Christian standpoint, does that mean going forward we can't, as Christians, ever speak about it? This is my question.
No, but of course you can though. But the
How?
thing is,
How? If for example, I say, for example, if the pastor's at the pulpit talking about, talking the story about the whole resurrection, but prior to that, he's giving context. He's talking about the Jewish, the people at the time didn't want him didn't believe he was their Messiah, but they gave him up. And also the Jews, because they didn't rule their own land at the time, right? They were taken over by the Romans, right? They couldn't kill for themselves. They intended to, and they would have, but they said, we can't. We have to leave it to the Romans. So what they do, they set him up to be. When Pilate gave them the option of choosing between Barnabas and Jesus, all of them said, free Barnabas, that killer. He was a killer, right? Barnabas, right? They said, we want Barnabas back. They let Jesus go to be killed. Again, I'm not trying to perpetrate anti-Semitic stuff. I'm basically saying what's in the Bible. And I'm basically saying, to me personally, someone needs to show me how this can't be seen as an attack on the Bible.
but you know what it is though? In what context here, Emmanuel,
Yes.
sir, are you sitting down talking about how Jesus got killed?
What do you mean?
In what context? Because you're saying
just
where do
me
we
relaying the historical fact
to whom?
to the congregation.
We have spent a year with you. I never heard you.
No, I don't
talk
care.
about-
I
but
don't
this
care
is the
about
thing
that.
that
But I care about the freedoms of our speech.
no, but a pastor who's in a church, that's different.
Why?
He's not putting up a meme. He's not Jamie Foxx with
It's not
with
meme,
a
it's just
millions
telling
of
the story,
No. He's
Esther.
no. He's not Jamie Foxx with millions and millions of followers putting that narrative out there. He's a pastor in a church preaching on the word of God. That's
okay,
different.
so let me ask you
I
this.
personally think even what Jamie Foxx, even this whole thing about we all draw is that if Jesus can be this, it's all blasphemy. If we're gonna call it that, it's blasphemy.
And also, then doesn't it make the hashtags worse then?
It does.
How?
Because if I've just asked you guys, did the Jews kill Jesus? And you guys said yes. So if he said they killed this dude named Jesus, right? So that's implying the Jews killed Jesus. Then he called them fake friends, fake love. You're implying that the Jews were fake.
No, he's not saying that.
No, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
but that's the thing.
I'm not
though.
saying what he's saying. I'm saying what the post implies to the Jews. If
so
you read
if you're
it,
in a mind, if you're in a Jewish person's mind, and
double
you've already
down,
seen
basically.
this is it, and you've seen they and you've seen killed, and then you see the two hashtags.
yeah.
I think, wow, you're really going in, aren't you?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is what your message is.
Like you're saying we killed Jesus and we're
we
fake
fake
and we're
too?
fake, basically.
Do you get me?
We
I feel
ain't got
like
no love for Jesus.
my thing is just, I just think,
You might have pull it back from the death, man. Come on.
my thing is, I just think everyone stop with the blasphemy. If we stop with blasphemy first and foremost, none of us would be in this position because people are out here posting up memes
I don't
and
think
quote
it's
pages. Because Jamie, it is blasphemy. You can't be comparing yourself to Jesus. Whatever it is that you go through in your little lowly earthly life is nothing to be compared to Jesus. Your friend not attending your birthday dinner, your friend sleeping with your wife, your friend not paying you back the money they owe you is nothing compared to Jesus dying, being betrayed and dying for sins. Everyone is to get out of that main character and understand this is blasphemy and it's on your records. That's a fact. It's blasphemy. You can't be comparing yourself to Jesus, first of all. So if we address that and everyone stops with the blasphemy, we won't even be in this position to be fighting for your rights to say that you can have a Judas in your life, you can't have a Judas in your life. It is what it is, isn't it? Is there someone on the phone?
Yeah.
Good morning, Colin.
Good morning.
Yes.
Jamie, apologize, man.
Good morning, friend.
Jamie, apologize.
Like,
I agree with you, Brent.
Good morning,
but-
Stacey.
Yeah, go on.
Good morning, friends.
How you doing?
Y'all.
Preach.
Yeah.
I really am just not into the whole semantic wars, and I said it in the chat. I'm not arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding me, respectfully. I think that we need to stop the whole apology nonsense. And I think I've always said, like, intent should not discount how it's received and vice versa. Instead of Jamie Foxx to go on his platform, just because he's a celebrity doesn't mean he's not afforded the opportunity to explain himself. Instead of just apologizing, which to me, I feel like enables shit like this to happen over and over and over again.
Yep.
He easily could have explained himself and explained, this is not where I'm coming from. Like, really and truly, it should just be that. That could have deaded this whole thing. Nobody was talking about them, literally. I feel like everybody needs to stop overestimating their place in people's lives, their place in people's mouths. Truly. I'm not gonna. We don't need to speak in endless disclaimers and like abandon age-old anecdotes in the name of people crying over shit that wasn't about them in the first place. Are we dead ass? Like, I need people to stop being intentionally obtuse. Let's all learn this intentionally obtuse word. If someone is telling you they didn't mean that, stop. Reaching for offense. Jamie Foxx was never talking about y'all. And if Jennifer Aniston wants to make it about y'all, be throwing the stones at her, please. If you're not Black, you never heard this anecdote before, I'm not even going to apologize to you because that's not a cultural anecdote for you. And we're not going to stop using it on y'all's behalf. But it wasn't about you. So yeah, people say all the time, child, if they could kill Judas, hell, what they going to do to me?
Exactly.
It's such a normal term, a normal anecdote. So we shouldn't be changing our anecdotes, our language, the way we present, things that we say in the name of people boo-hooing over shit that was never about them. It's not always about y'all. Truly. Anyway, that's my own.
Question, Stacey, before you leave. Thank you very much so far for giving another point.
Yeah.
What did you feel about Kanye West's press run when it is he was doing his thing?
Can you remind me some of the... I blocked things Kanye because I just feel like he just be setting himself up for real.
He was being anti-Semitic.
We need context nowadays for what that is. What did he say?
He was saying that the Jews looked to kill him. They changed out his meds.
What does that mean when he's like, I'm not going to say the doctor word?
See,
he accused the Jews of
the DEFCON thing,
of running Hollywood, the music industry,
Yep.
looking to enslave Black people for... Go on.
Let's break it up into pieces, yeah? Let's start with the medicine part. If Kanye is blaming Jewish people for medicine, I can understand why they'd be mad, because maybe your doctor was Jewish. Maybe he's not, I don't know. But to label a whole culture, a whole religion
because of your personal experience with medical malpractice, allegedly, you're reaching. Like, we can acknowledge that that's a reach. I'm not invalidating his personal experience, but you also don't get to generalize a whole population of people based on your experience with a few different people. But funny enough, I was thinking about this either today or a couple days ago. This is no offense to anybody, and I'm not going to proceed to offend anybody. But I've always
Wait, why did you give
really
that preface?
wondered,
Why did you give that disclaimer?
because I don't. You have to sometimes you have to disclaim. But
No, but you just said we shouldn't do that.
But
You
we
don't
don't know
have
what
to
she's
know
going to
everything.
say.
I'm saying that to make my point, so that you guys don't jump there and we spiral. This specific point that I'm about to make.
So you care about this platform which is you're sharing this information on?
What do you mean?
Because it might be misconstrued.
Yeah, it might be misconstrued, and I'm not giving you the opportunity to do
All
that.
right, fair enough, babes.
But I will explain myself should you choose to. But my point is, I've always wondered, genuine curiosity, just things that occur in my head. Some of the things that like Jewish people are like, or take offense to, or like some of the categories, or like, what's the word I'm looking for? Some of the, damn, I just had it at the tip of my tongue too. Not accused, because they're not bad things. Some of the typecast, I guess, that's a shit word. You understand what I mean? Like, they have money, they run Hollywood. Exactly, there you go, stereotypes. Stereotypes Jewish people are, typically put under. Have you ever thought to yourself, like, damn, like, out of all the options of things that can be stereotyped, this is what you want to complain about? Like, Black people are stereotyped for being thieves and lowlives and having nothing and literally like just a bunch of shitty stuff, and you're complaining about people stereotyping you as being rich and running Hollywood, when, especially if there was no smoke behind this fire, like, y'all Jewish people tend to have money. Like, that's a great thing. Like, the way the dollar circulates around the Jewish community is drastically different than the way it circulates in other communities. And that's excellent. We should aspire to do the same things y'all are doing. There's a lot of Jewish people in Hollywood. Oh my God, come to my office on Jewish holiday, child. It's no traffic in LA. Anybody in the office. It's a thing. Like, and that's okay. It's okay to make an observation, but maybe I just do my research, or, hear a little bit more about why it's such a big deal that certain stereotypes are such an offense to y'all. Like, hell, if I had to pick some offenses, I would love to be, tell people to say Black people are typically rich. But maybe it's because we're coming from the opposite side of the thing.
Yeah, and it's because of how that's affected them in the past, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of being in positions of power, and how, I guess, during the Second World War, the Holocaust time, a lot of them were penalized for this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we don't want anyone to say, yo, you got power, because we know what happens when, for example, people think we have power. It's happened to us less than 100 years ago.
Then, and I can say, excuse my ignorance, but also, again, going back to my initial point about intent and reception, I can understand that when a Jewish person tells me this is why this is offensive to my community, they're receiving it a certain way because of their cultural experience and how that resonates with them. But I can also explain to them, this is new information to me. That wasn't where I was coming from. I now know to be cognizant of that when I'm speaking about things like this in future, but also understand that this wasn't intended to be offensive to you. And the reason why I said what I said, or the angle that I was coming from when I said what I said, or I said such stereotype, is because of my observance. And I don't think that we should be, anybody, not just Jewish people, should be ignorant to the fact that people speak from their experience and the life that they walk. If I work in entertainment and over 50% of the people in my office are Jewish, am I wrong to say, oh, there's a lot of Jewish people who work in Hollywood? They're a majority. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you do say it from the malicious place that they're saying that a lot of people speak from it, I can understand that. But that's not the case all the time. And I don't think we should be forced to apologize if that is never where we were coming from. You can make someone aware that, hey, by the way, just for future reference, this is how people might take it. I know this wasn't your intent, and you can mentally note that for future. But to make people detract what they say, give money to all these different charities, apologize 36,000 times, please, like, that's not where we would think. The frame of mind we're thinking of, and that's just generally, not just when it comes to Jewish things. Yeah. Intent does not discount perception, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm. So Kanye West, what was his intent? That's the question I asked.
Hell, I don't know. I covered that. I said the stuff that he says he can't generalize individual experiences over a whole population of people. That's dumb. And actually, what's crazy is the head of my company wrote this article that allegedly ticked off some Kanye fans about why companies shouldn't work with Kanye as a result of the things he was saying. They put a bomb threat on our office. We had to evacuate the building. It was crazy, but nonetheless,
I don't know. Man.
That's Hollywood.
I think if you cause offense to somebody and they point out how it is that what you've done, whether intended or not, is offensive, I don't think it takes too much for you to apologize.
I hear you.
I don't think that's really what's going to break. I don't think that's really going to affect your existence like that. I'm not here for cancel culture. Like I'm really not here for it. So I don't believe in the whole cancelling culture. And I feel like you should only go and do a tour if it was a thing where you double down on what it is that you've said, even after you've been told it's offensive. Then you should go and make reparations. But I think that if it is that you said something and a community or people, whoever it is, even if it's a one-on-one situation, has said to you this is offensive, I don't think it takes too much out of you to apologize for it and acknowledge the fact that, okay, yeah, do you know what? That was offensive. Because the thing is...
But you know what?
Yeah, go on.
Go ahead. Oh.
So go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead. Sorry. Oh, no, I meant you go ahead. It's fine. I thought you cut out for a second.
I was going to say, I'm not for cancel culture either, but I'm also not for fake apologies. Like, when are we going to call a spade and understand that these celebrities who are apologizing, majority of the time are apologizing for the sake of their careers. Like, I'm pretty sure they would like to challenge things sometimes, but for the sake of the things they have on the table, the easier route is to just apologize. And personally, if I was on the receiving end of an apology over an offense, I wouldn't want you to apologize just for the sake of me, being razzled by what you said. Let's have discourse. I feel like we go further when we welcome the conversation versus saying, I'm sorry. For what?
But you know what it is,
like, would stop? Yeah.
I like when people apologize after they understand what it is that they've done. I believe that he apologized that quickly because someone actually explained to him why what he's done was that. Do you get what I mean? But for me, even that, if I've got stuff to lose, I'm not losing, like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not losing my opportunities. I'm not losing my livelihood because I wanted to repost a meme page. He did not sit down on Canva and create that. He saw it somewhere and he screenshot it, edited the corners out and reposted it. I am not losing my livelihood for the sake of, like, is it really a hill worth dying on? Is it really, really a hill worth dying on?
I personally, you made a
I would like the right person to die on that hill.
You know?
Because to Chrissy's point, when does this end?
Wait. You just said that you want somebody else to give their life for this?
No, but not another anecdote. I'm not saying literally die. I'm saying
words mean things now. Don't do that.
Let me give you an example, yeah. So you see Kevin Hart, years ago, Kevin Hart tweeted some stuff, and in his comedy, he talked about, if his child was gay or whatever, he beat him, blah, 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 whatever. Obviously, when he first went out, Kevin Hart apologized for it. Cool. It came up, another time it came up again, resurfaced, he apologized again. When he was due to host the Oscars, the tweets got brought up again. And Kevin was like, I'm not apologizing because I apologized like 3, 4, 5 times now. I've addressed this over and over again. This is what it was. And he said, he literally was like, he doubled down on it. And Oscars were like, if you either apologize or we're going to fire you. And he said, I'll do you one better, I quit.
Good.
Do you know what I mean? No, don't good, because he came back and apologized anyway. Because he said he sat down. No, but this is what it was though. He said he sat down. He said, yes, he's apologized for this many of times or whatever. But what he had to understand, because his manager's a lesbian, the other people that he works are in the LGBT community. And he was like, I don't have hate towards that. It was a joke I made, blah, blah. It wasn't sensitive. The time wasn't sensitive, whatever. But he said what he had to come back and realize was that, first of all, he's got some new fans who don't know that he's spent time apologizing about this or whatever. But also, he's got some new fans who like his comedy, who see how he talks, who see the people that he's surrounded. He's surrounded by people from different backgrounds that have different lifestyles, different sexualities, all that kind of stuff. And he said, for those people, they didn't know him as how he used to joke. They've met him as this person now, and this is like not they put him on a pedestal, but they like this person that they've met. So if this new person who now watches my content, who likes me or who I'm now friends with, sees this thing of me, I do owe them an explanation to be like, okay, do you know what? This is where I was at that time when I said this or whatever, and I apologize that you're sorry about it. And he said he learned and understood that one of the consequences of when you do certain things is that for the rest of your life they will be held against you. It will be. So you don't get to apologize 10 times and say, well, I apologize 10 times, that's enough now. Because there's the 11th time where you need to apologize, there's going to be someone else who has never been exposed to anything that you've done.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, unfortunately, that is the consequences. Certain actions have consequences. Mm-hmm. And when you incite hate, and I'm not talking about Jamie Foxx, I'm talking about in general and stuff. When you incite hate and stuff, you don't get to tap out that you don't not going to apologize, because people that you insulted, they didn't get to tap out of you causing them offense. Do you get what I mean? I'm not here for cancel culture. I don't feel like Jamie Foxx should be cancelled, but I respect the fact that he apologized. I get that people say, it's all fake and whatever it is. But I'll be honest with you, if I've got shit to lose, that shit is as real as heck. It's as real, because if my employers called me and said, if you don't apologize, you're losing this deal, you're losing this. You think I'm not going to give you the best bars you've ever heard in your life?
I think most people would apologize, to be fair.
I'd apologize for less, you said.
It's the same thing.
When it came down to their livelihoods, most people are apologizing.
I'm apologizing. It's not that deep.
You know what? Everybody is worried about their bottom line, Oscars included. And they're going to do everything to protect the coin at the end of the day. But in my opinion, how I feel like, Jamie Foxx should have handled it. Excuse me if I'm not remembering exactly what his apology said, because he could have maybe touched on it very briefly. I would just like a lot. You can include an apology of some sort, but don't let it be oh, I'm sorry, and you retreat. Like, let it be, you know what, y'all, this really wasn't the direction that this post was meant to be in. Let me explain the angle that I'm coming from. If you took it otherwise, that wasn't my intent, and I'm sorry for whatever that may have caused. Not, I'm sorry I said X, Y, Z, because I'm not sorry I said it. I said it coming from an angle that wasn't meant to offend you. However, I am apologetic for all the other things that came out as subsidiary. And I think that had he come from that angle, we probably wouldn't be having this discussion, because both sides would be clear. Listen, this is what Jamie meant. If you've never heard this anecdote before because you're not a part of the culture, let me make you aware, since we're talking about Googling people's culture now. Let's all learn. You learn about us, we learn about you.
But then are you going to be...
everybody walks over.
So after you apologize here, are you going to still use that language?
This is why I was asking this question.
Yeah, I beg you, don't suggest that because it's part of the culture, it's not something that's been caused an offense to certain demographics, because we can move away from the Jews and we can go to homosexuals.
Okay.
But I was never, that's my whole point. I was never talking about the Jews. It's an anecdote. And if we're going to pick apart this anecdote over semantics, we're going to have to erase quite literally the language of anecdotes.
No.
But that's the thing.
Wait a minute. If we've kept it within the culture and it hasn't seeped out so that this particular community can see that we're using this particular thing, bear in mind, he has a platform that canvasses the globe. Do you understand? The globe. And he's in an industry in which it is that you say is highly populated by these individuals. So if he has used his platform to put it out there, regardless of whether it's been used within his culture for the longest while, it's now in the main public sphere.
This is it.
And this stupid white woman has decided to make it what he didn't mean it to be. So now it has a tinge on it.
But did you not just hear me when I said he should have made himself clear? Like, I literally said it. I said.
I don't know why my voice sounded as well. I didn't you. Sorry, Stacey. I apologize. You see what I did?
No.
It wasn't my intent.
This conversation, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation if he would have just addressed what he meant while also taking accountability. I think what we can learn from situations like this is, like Esther said, or somebody said earlier, you can't control what comes as a product of the things that you say. Yeah. Misinterpretation included, right? So he could have then just said, listen, y'all, I wasn't talking about whatever the hell you spun this into. This is where I was coming from. But I'm also going to say, you know what? I didn't mean for it to go that far. I didn't mean for it to project any views that were other than what I intended it to be. But I also recognize I have platform and these were things that were spewed. So, you know, I guess sorry, but I'm just not for the sorry. Maybe don't say I guess when you apologize, but you know, y'all know what I'm saying. I apologize for the product, but don't just say I'm sorry.
Because you know why I think we need to give celebrities and stuff grace and stuff for apologizing anyway, yeah? Because if you think about it, yeah, tomorrow we're going to talk about something different. But never tomorrow. By 11 a.m., I'm going to forget this was even a topic of the day, right? These things are just gist to us. This is their livelihood. So when someone's apologizing for something that they've done, whether it's fake or not fake or whatever it is, yeah, that's their reality. Like, they're the ones who are being pressured. They're the ones who the agents are calling them like, oh, this person's talking about dropping you. We've got this meeting. Do you get me? That's their reality. And really and truly, yeah, the public that, if we go by, say Jamie Foxx didn't apologize, the public that are said and the black people that are saying, oh no, this is how we talk in the community, are you not going to be the one paying his direct debits every month? No, because again, it's just to you. Do you get me? So I feel like when celebrities, I feel like they should be given grace for apologizing. I already told you where I stand. If anything, friends, my bag. I'm sorry, my name is no longer Esther.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. Because can I ask a question?
I'm a phony.
Go on,
that's for money.
Go on, Stacey.
Go ahead, man.
Oh,
I was saying.
Sorry, go on. You go.
No,
I'll go for you.
I was going to say. We need to stop dehumanizing celebrities. Sometimes, like I often, you know, find myself doing this as well as a consumer of things that celebrities put out. I think sometimes we think of celebrities as a brand first, versus thinking about them as people sometimes. And can you imagine living a life? And I know that, like, you know, they kind of pick the life they're in. They're in an industry where eyes are on them all the time, but like, having to have disclaimers on everything that you say and having to be extra careful and damn near scripted in everything that you say. These are human beings. It's okay for them to use their social media like a normal human being sometimes. We post things about shitty friends or I have one on my story now. Like, it's okay for them to be able to get things out without us overanalyzing it sometimes. They're human beings.
Stacey, I mean, with everything, like, you have to be prepared for the consequences, right?
You do.
Go on.
He should be afforded the opportunity to explain himself versus everyone just saying you need to apologize. It's the same thing I've been saying this whole time.
We need to get the pitchforks out for that white woman.
Branston.
Yeah, man.
Can I ask this question though? Yeah, and because nobody answered me before. Yeah, so Brent, I want you to answer this. Yeah, Stacey, everybody, right? Like I said before, when we were talking about this being, at least through a Christian lens, right, being a historical and biblical truth, right, that this is how Christ's death came about. Are we allowed?
Can you clarify
the fact that
truth is so that
that the Jews were complicit in the death of Jesus Christ?
Are they the same people?
What do you mean?
Are they not descendants, but do the Jews today associate with the Jews in the Bible?
100%.
Okay, cool, go on.
So
why are you choosing to highlight Jews?
Say it again.
Why are you choosing to highlight Jews? Is there a specific reason why in what you're setting up, you're specifying Jews? There's
no reason why. It's the same reason why God did it. So in the same reason why, for the same reason why God did it. So in the Bible,
okay, maybe
it's there.
Sure.
Right? So inspired by God, that's what the Bible says it is. Holy Spirit inspired it and all that beautiful stuff. It's in the Bible. So I'm saying to you now, if a pastor says this, if T.D. Jakes brought out this same meme, this same clip, that thing he did, right? He's a pastor, speaking from his perspective that this is a historical truth. Should he apologize? Forget the apology part of it. Is he allowed to do that? Are we allowed to reference the fact that, again, 2,000 years ago, from a Christian standpoint, right? Some people even dispute whether Christ even existed. But for those who believe he did, the Christians, right? The almost 2 billion around the planet, right? If they mention this, is it wrong? Is it anti-Semitic? Should they never mention it again?
Mention it in what context?
It's just as a historical fact.
But the thing is, if you mention it in what context, though?
In the context that it is, that the Jews killed Jesus. Quote, reading the Bible.
But that's the thing, though.
Yeah, of course.
Jamie
If you're
Foxx
reading
was
the Bible,
posting a
then fine.
meme, bro.
What?
Jamie Foxx
If
was
you're
posting a
just-
meme. T.D. Jakes is not.
If you're just educating, teaching, reading a statement, reading the Bible, of course you can mention it because it's there, right? But if you're using it to imply that your friends or people are fake love, it's a different context.
I'm not using the context of, because you have to understand, this is why I mentioned this before. Wait, this is why I mentioned this before. Jamie Foxx's whole thing was mentioning it as a friend, this, that, fake friends, right? But the issue, why it is anti-Semitic, is because it goes on to the whole thing called Jewish deicide, which is the idea that the Jews as a people collectively are responsible for the killing of Jesus. It's nothing to do with what Judas did. It's the idea that there are people in this world who believe that Jewish people killed Jesus Christ. And because of this view, they were persecuted for thousands of years, right? So I'm simply saying the view, which is through the Bible, it's in the Bible. I'm not doing this.
No.
I could care less.
I'm
just saying
if it's in the Bible, then yes, TD Jakes or whoever could mention it. Of course they
Okay,
can.
but it doesn't seem that way.
It's about the context,
It's the
man.
context.
That's what you're missing.
It's the context.
I'm not missing
TD
the
Jakes
context.
and
You
any
are
other
missing the
pastor
context.
is in church preaching on
Yeah.
the word of God, and they're talking about the word of God. Jamie Foxx
Is using
was
it
like literally
as a way to get his shit off.
to get his shit off about fake friends and fake love.
How he feels about how he's been treated by his friends in his
This is
moment
it.
of play.
We cannot compare
different.
pastors who are helping people get closer to God to someone, because how does Jamie Foxx's post glorify God? When pastors stand on the pulpit, well, some of them, but that's a conversation for another day. When they stand on the pulpit, their word, the message they're giving is to glorify God, is to help people draw closer to God. How is Jamie Foxx pointing out his fake friends? How does that do the same thing? It's different context.
No, I think you guys are missing it as well, right?
You're missing it.
Talk to me,
Okay,
because
okay.
I think I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
And in me understanding what you're saying, I have to go back to what Yusuf said,
Which is?
because it matters of the context. Because what you're asking me isn't even the intent in which it is Jamie Foxx wants to have a discourse, right?
Yeah, but this is
Because
why
what you're saying,
this is why I put Jamie Foxx to the side.
In my head, what you're saying, if there is a different day when we decide to have a conversation about who killed Jesus and who should be held responsible for killing Jesus, are we allowed to have that discourse? That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Without being called anti-Semitic, right?
Yes.
All right, that's a different thing completely.
Okay,
in
and
relation
I'm-
to
and
this.
I'm asking,
so
because
we've
I don't
moved
understand.
on from Jamie Foxx, right?
Yes, we moved. That's why I said forget Jamie Foxx.
All right, so now you're now saying on a different day, can we basically have a real conversation about this?
Not even
The
as
same
real
way-
comment, just mention
The
it.
same
Yeah, of
way
course
as,
we can.
The same way as you would say on a real day, can we have a real conversation about whose hands
answer the
in the sorry?
I would like to answer the question as is first before we move on.
Yeah, let me
If I
finish.
can.
Let me finish my thought process, please.
She didn't want you to be
Yeah,
wrong.
No, that's okay. That's okay because it's part of the same thing.
Remember what you want to say.
On another day,
so it's
you would ask, can we have a real conversation about who had their hands in slavery, whether it's the ships, whether it's this, and who funded this annex? That's another question tied to the same thing you're talking about, right? If it happened truly, truthfully, can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Can it be in the public square? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying, yes?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Respond to that, Stacey, please. Thank you.
I was just going to say that to your original question about if T. Jakes were to bring it up, will we call it anti-Semitic? It depends on the slit. He wouldn't be came at because he is preaching historical or biblical fact. He will come at the slant in which he does so. If he's preaching to a message that is about, let's not to resurrect the Jamie Foxx thing, but maybe his sermon is about being careful about what you keep, and somehow he finds a way to doctor the story of, Judas and the disciples and, the demise of Jesus into that. There's no anti-Semitic slant there. But if he goes and makes a sermon saying, the Jewish people killed Jesus, it's in the Bible, we should be careful Jewish people, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I can respect why somebody would be mad and say that is anti-Semitic in the slant in which he addressed biblical fact. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just don't agree.
And
with
that's what you say about context. You
Listen,
can't just say it's anti-Semitic, just saying the fact as is.
No, that's because you are using your mental faculties to say to yourself, it wouldn't make sense for this to be the case. Personally, right, we can't speak for Jewish people, right? I believe, again, this is based on me reading and understanding what Jewish deicide is. And again, I'm going to say it for you people again. It's the notion that the Jews as a people were collectively responsible for the killing of Jesus. You have to understand something. When that idea, right, started to manifest into a physical way where Jewish people were persecuted, right, that's when it became an issue. You understand what I'm saying to you? But what I'm saying to you is, where's the line drawn? Because if in today nobody's persecuting Jewish people, at least from the standpoint of black people who or pastors who may just be talking about the story of Jesus, if they're just mentioning that this is what happened, they're quoting Thessalonians where Paul says clearly they killed the Lord Jesus Christ. If there's no slant on this, there's nothing here, but you are mentioning this very thing, right, which was used. Again, you're not trying to be negative, but you're saying something that was used in the past, right, to be violent towards Jews, right? At what point does it stop? Again, I'm going to read this quote to you again. Once again...
That's what you just said, though. You're using it to be violent towards Jews.
It was in the past. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not using it to be that, why are we going to be so quick to label somebody anti-Semitic when, especially from the lens of a Christian person, it is something that was a historical fact? I'm going to read this again for you, right? Because again, this is a Jewish person saying something. They said, once again, a celebrity, Jamie Foxx, fanning the flames of Jew hatred on social media. This blood libel has motivated violent acts of persecution against Jewish people for centuries. You see what she's saying? She's saying this has motivated violent acts. So the fact that you're mentioning they killed Jesus is what she has a problem with. It's nothing to do with the context about Judas doing this. It's the fact that you mentioned they and it wasn't specific about who the they is. If you said my friend did so-and-so, fine. If you said Judas did it, fine. But the fact that you said they, and I'm saying to you in the Bible, it says they, right? And I'm also saying to you, it's a historical fact through the lens of, and the reason why I can even prove to you, right, why this is also an issue, it's not the way you people are seeing it. It's because the Pope had to come out, you know. The Pope had to come out and say, the Jews never killed Jesus. So if the Pope has had to come out and say this, right? No, wait. If the Pope has had to come out and say this, what does that tell you? It tells you that we don't like the fact that you people say this.
I have to say,
don't say it anymore.
The Pope is not a strong example.
He's not, but he's
they
the
are
leader.
not religious figures that everybody looks for.
Yes, 100%. But he's still the leader of 1 billion Catholics around the world, and he had to come out. Say that again.
I see where you're going. You're basically saying that we should be combating the fact that Jewish people are putting out this narrative, that Christian people are putting out a narrative that Jewish people killed Jesus, when in fact our Pope refuted that Jewish people killed Jesus.
He's not our Pope.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say
he's not my Pope. He's not my Pope. I don't look to the to the Pope as representative of Christ.
Christian, Catholic, or religious higher ups have come out and said this is not doctrine.
They've come out and said that. Yeah, exactly.
And
why have they done that? Because of the pressure.
But that's not a valid example, because there's so many things about the Bible that different denominations of Christianity don't adhere to and don't subscribe to and don't do this. So that's not really valid. I feel like what is most important here is about context. The person who said that this is how they incited violence against us, I could understand that, because again, this is something that Jamie Foxx has just said, and it's going to go viral and people are going to reshare on their stories and whatever. I understand that, but I don't think it's not going to have, unless, I don't know, someone like Mike Todd, he likes to do things for, clickbait or whatever, but unless a pastor is on the pulpit saying something that he knows will go viral and is intentionally throwing hate to Jewish people today, I don't believe it's going to be something where pastors have to now apologize for anti-Semitism. Okay. It won't be. No, it's not about when it gets there. It's about the fact that we're having a how long conversation. I'm over this now. We're having a full-on conversation about someone who wanted to post a meme, and he apologized for it straight away because he realizes what it is that he's got to lose. So what is the fight here?
The fight is, right?
I see.
Go on, Stacey. Go on, Stacey.
I get it. What you're saying is, okay, the way, let's take part one, 2 parts of this. Jewish people are complaining or are saying that we are putting out this verbiage, this idea that they are the ones responsible for the killing of Jesus.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What E-Man is saying is Christian religious higher-ups or religious figures have come out and said, that is not doctrine. So in you being so forward about saying this, you are also creating a subsidiary narrative about Christians that we are blaming you all for the killing of Jesus, which is not the doctrine. And we should stop that. Is that not what you're saying, Iman?
That as in that Christians are being forced to say that, basically. Yeah?
Exactly.
Yes.
That they're putting out this
even though it's in the Bible. Yes.
What's in the Bible then?
Even though it's in the Bible that obviously the Jews were complicit in the death.
So when you say complicit, because it was the Romans who killed him, right?
Yes.
Some of the Jews wanted him dead, yes?
100%.
But there are also some of the Jews who didn't, yes?
Of course.
All right, so this is the problem. Because it wasn't... Oh, sorry?
No, I'm
Because it
saying I'm
wasn't
agreeing
what?
with you.
Yeah, it wasn't whole scale.
Yeah, but we know it wasn't.
You saying
Nobody
that the
thinks
Pope had to come out because he was forced to basically say it wasn't the Jews. I mean, factually, it wasn't the Jews that killed him.
There's a bunch of people.
No, the Romans.
So does everyone feel that same way when we say white people enslaved us?
Focus on what we're talking about. Focus on what we're talking about.
This doesn't make sense. Anyway, go on. I'm listening.
Who factually killed him? Who had the power to kill him?
The Jews. Sorry, the Romans did.
Thank you very much. And what you're saying is that the
Jews
Jews,
just on
some
your
of the
lips.
Jews lobbied the Romans to kill him, yes? Because they didn't have the power to kill him.
Yes.
During that same time, was it all the Jews that didn't like Jesus?
Of course not.
All
Some
right.
of them were just
So I could understand, because when we talk about this particular thing in our cultural circles, we don't really focus on this. But when it is, they're hearing it, they're like, wait, this is used to do this particular thing. We want to change the narrative here. And each time it comes up, because we can lobby, we have the power to lobby. Because we can lobby, we will continue doing it until it's eradicated from the particular dialogue, discourse.
Right.
No, I have no. Mama, I keep telling you, brother, I want that same flex for black people.
Yes, I'm going to get on
so that we can basically, when it comes
100%,
to tropes that are bandied about,
Yep.
and causing us negative harm,
Yep.
we can now do something about it.
Facts.
This is what my focus is.
100%.
So me getting onto this particular argument when this man didn't want to do what he did, but he still apologized for it. But I'm not sweating over this.
But Brent, you see
I'm
what you
not.
said?
I can't.
I understand what you're saying, and you're right. I wish I could take that same stance. But to me, I have a problem with the fact that it means people don't have freedom. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have basically the freedom, at least, again, unless you guys correct me, to me it means I can't freely express and talk about something in the Bible. That's what it sounds like to me.
100% you have forums in which you can freely have this discourse. Don't suggest that you don't. It's because of the public nature of this platform as to why this is happening.
What do you mean by this forums where? So that means you got to be a Christian in certain places? What does that mean?
No, I don't know.
I mean, there are
Wait,
Christians being killed all over the place, but that isn't.
Explain to me.
Explain what you're saying to me.
What do you mean by there's forums where you can have these discussions?
But I fully believe them same groups that are contacting you to come on here. They have a discussion all the time. All the time. What?
Why are you talking about that? Where do we go?
All the time.
Yes.
No, because let me know the day they're coming.
In the Nation of Islam, they're having these discussions all the time. Don't suggest that they're not.
Okay, cool.
People have these discussions all the time.
Yeah.
But once it is you put it in a public space,
Yes.
where there are other people now saying, all right, cool, I hear what you're saying. I don't like that you're saying that because it has this particular connotation attached to it. I'm going to basically do something about it.
And this is why I'm
I
asking
told
you.
you I want that same flex.
I understand what you're saying, Brent. But and I agree, and we need to have that. But what I'm saying to you, in the interim, does that mean we need to be basically...
Who's we? Focus on the examples of when this has happened. Last time it was Kanye West, right?
Forget
and off the
Kanye.
back of, I can't forget Kanye
because I'm not talking about him.
Each time you mention this because it's come up in a celebrity conversation.
Yes.
Right? So this celebrity has said this particular thing.
But the reason why I'm saying forget him is because we're not talking about Kanye. We
Right
know
now,
his
let's
was
focus
different.
on Jamie Foxx.
It's not even that really.
Okay.
I've seen the Jamie Foxx example and I've taken it from there, and I'm saying the issue is the Jewish deicide. The fact that we are saying, or at least Jamie said, they killed Jesus. And I'm saying to you, the Bible, Paul himself said the Jews killed Jesus. And again, understanding the context, we know not every Jewish person killed was complicit. We know not every white person was involved or even wanted the slave trade. We know this. We know this is how people speak. And so I'm basically saying to you, in that same context, in that same spirit, where you are just talking about this, right? Is this a situation where we can't no longer talk about it? Because at the end of the day, the issue isn't the usage of the Jews and the Judases and all them type of things. It's the fact that in one sentence, it says, they killed Jesus.
This is why I respond by saying, who are you saying can't talk about it? Because Jamie doesn't even want to talk about this because that's not what he meant.
Literally.
Right? So what are you talking about?
I'm talking about anybody.
What public sphere have you seen recently that you can basically cite?
Yeah.
They tried to talk about this.
I'm not
and
saying
didn't.
somebody has.
So what are you talking about?
I'm
because I know that people having this conversation in certain forums. I know.
But what I'm saying to you is, if, for example, TD Jakes has got, there's a 5-minute clip, for example, because I can only speak hypothetically.
Then I can't do anything. I
Okay,
can't
cool.
do anything
All
about
right,
that. I really can't.
All right. At the end of the day, I get you. Go on, Stacey.
It depends on the space in which this is being discussed. If you're discussing it in a religious forum, whether public or private being in church, public being in public platforms where a mass of people with similar religious beliefs are engaging in discourse, that is when you are able to cite such text and you should not be challenged. But in a public sphere, in casual conversation where you're religious, people of your religious who share your spiritual beliefs are not the only exclusive party who are engaging in the conversation, you have to be aware and you need to understand that there are beliefs that challenge.
Okay.
It happens with other religions.
Okay.
We just that everybody has their forms in which their beliefs are their beliefs, and it's not for us to challenge them in said forms.
Okay,
and
cool.
really that's it.
Well, okay, is that simple for you? That's fine. So that means basically when you be Christian in your house and be Christian in church.
No.
Is that it's that simple? Is that simple?
No, it's
but
not.
Again, if you don't see it that way, that's up to you. Again, I've seen in history how the erosion of people's freedoms occur. But again, nobody else seems to see it. But again, this is not my fight.
Are you sure? We spent 2 hours on this.
It's not my fight. It's not my fight.
It's not my fight.
I just feel that Jamie was hard done by, personally. But like Brent rightly said, and I agree with you guys, right, when you say this, he apologized. Who the hell am I to come and stick up for the man who feels like he's done something bad? And again, I believe that you're right, Esther, also, right? If it is a case where I've wronged you, right, and you've made that clear to me, I should apologize, especially if I care. Right? So I should not wrong him for apologizing. But I also believe it's incumbent on those who are accusing him of being anti-Semitic to apologize to him for wrongly accusing him of that. Because to me, personally, he didn't mean that.
No,
and I
man,
think,
it don't work like that,
No,
man.
that's how I see it. That's that's personally how I see it. And this may not be the best analogy in the world, but Yusuf, when Jay-Z said, I got the baddest chick in the game, wearing my chain, if a white person came out and said, I got the baddest chick in the game, wearing my chain, and his girl was a black woman, are black people going to come out and say that's anti-black? Because that reminds me. Wait. You don't see it, right?
So wait.
People going to say, wait a minute. Black women was enslaved. They had chains around their neck. To me, that's anti-black because it reminds me of.
No, wait. So you think that in that situation he should apologize? He apologizes.
Who?
So the white man.
I'm saying, would we call him to apologize?
Okay. Let's just say we did. We
You
called
know
him to
what?
apologize.
Wait, Yeah.
Sorry, Stacey.
when I
One
thought
second.
of-
1 second, Stacey.
Stacey.
So we called him to apologize, right? He apologizes,
Yeah.
and we say to him that was racist because we went through this. He apologizes. Should we now, because by this mindset of yours about the Jewish community, to apologize to Jamie Foxx, and then he says, but I'm not a racist person, and I don't appreciate you guys accuse me of that. Would you then be comfortable apologizing back to him for initially calling him racist?
If he doesn't come to me with attitude about saying I don't appreciate, if he says to me I did not mean it in any way, shape, form, or fashion, I could be like, fine. I'm sorry for us labeling you anti-black and trying to ruin your career.
Emmanuel, you're capping, bro. You're not apologizing.
No, but you can't.
No,
you
no,
can't
You
give me
are
that
not.
question.
Someone is not going to do
Esther,
something
that's
that's
not fair.
no. It's fair. It's
can't
fair.
say that
It's fair
I'm
because you're
gonna say
talking
I
as a
won't do
matter
it.
of fact. There is not. I know you're not going to do it because of the way you speak. I can make that conclusion. I can draw that conclusion from how it is that you speak. Someone is not going to do something that you find racist, and then you say to them, "I thought that was racist," and they say, "Okay, my bad. I apologize," and you are going to in turn apologize back for saying racism. You don't even believe someone should apologize for something that they're wrong for.
He apologized to the white man.
I'm saying. No, but the thing is,
I didn't-
even before that, even when someone's been called out for doing wrong, you're not even for them apologizing. In what world are you double backing on an apology?
Do you understand?
Please,
Wait, let me
please. You had me all up until
let me
then.
explain.
Two swigs.
BFFR. BFFR. What?
Depends on context. If we were in a position, right, where we had that same power, that same flex that we're talking about, right, where it's like, cool, we understand that, you know what, maybe we came a bit hasty here and condemned this pure, nice white guy who was just dating a beautiful sister and all this type of stuff, right? And he expressed to us that, look, listen, there was no hate in my heart, honestly. Honestly,
You know, I'm impressed by-
I would basically be like, you know what, guys, we was a bit harsh, man. It was a bit harsh.
I'm
This guy ain't
so
black.
impressed by the fact that you actually believe what's coming out of your mouth right now.
I believe it.
You are sitting
I know,
opposite
that's me. That's me.
That's a lie. You are sitting opposite me, and you, who does not believe someone should apologize in the first place,
That's not fair.
is going to re-apologize.
That's not fair.
You're going to apologize for the apology. You.
No, Esther, that's not fair. Do you know why? Because I agree
You think
with
people
you
are
guys.
sellouts for apologizing?
No,
you
no,
thought
wait,
Kyrie
wait.
Irving was a sellout?
No,
You thought Kanye was a
I love
sellout?
Kyrie.
And I feel like now you're annoyed that
No, no,
Jamie
no, no.
apologizing, and you're thinking that he's going to apologize. He should apologize.
Can I correct you?
Oh,
please?
be for real.
Can I correct? I'm not upset with Kyrie.
I feel like your
I love
argument is
Kyrie.
making sense until you said that.
I love Kyrie. All I'm trying to say is, to me, right, I think it's extremely arrogant for people to come out and act as though Jamie could only be talking about the Jews. I understand what you're saying. I understand because in the past you've heard this, they killed Jesus, but no one came out to ask, wait a minute, are you talking about us? No one came to ask about the context of the fake friends and the fake love. Nobody did that. And this is why I see it as extremely arrogant, and it's wrong, personally. And this is why I had the stance I had in the beginning. And also, I also see it as potentially an attack on black culture, because this is how we speak. This is how we are. We can't express ourselves now openly because we're scared.
If it's causing offense.
If we're scared. No, but people offend people all the time. I can't always be. I'm not saying this is the case always. I'm saying, but I can't always be responsible for how you take my words.
There's
sometimes
so much,
it's
yeah.
on you. And sometimes, if the truth is a problem, the problem is your own. Go and deal with it. But all I'm trying to say is, in this particular context, right, I believe it's wrong for them to do that. But like Brent said, we have to have our own power, our own flex. This to me speaks to how people don't want to understand black culture, but they want to capitalize over black culture. It's also about this whole, like they say, I think it's in the Bible, where the carcass is where you find the vultures. There's culture vultures all over the place. Why? Because all of us, to them, we have nothing. We own nothing. We're blind, we're deaf, we're dumb, we're dead people just walking. We have all this talent. And none of us actually want to actually do anything with it. Remember when Putin said the same thing about Africa? When he said, Africa's a graveyard. He said all the great Africans, the doctors, the lawyers, all those great high professions, they all come to the West. They benefit the West. They go to America. They go to China. They go to Russia. They go to all over Europe, right? And they benefit. When it's time for retirement, what do? They go back home to die. Africa is just it's just a bloody graveyard. This is the mentality we have. And so when I hear these type of things, right, it speaks to us being impotent and also incompetent, because at the end of the day, God's given us, to me personally, I don't want to make this about talent Olympics or whatever people want to talk, right? But at the end of the day, the black people are the most talented people on the planet. And with all of this talent, all of these resources, we're mismanaging it. We're allowing people to capitalize off us from day one. I would like to think that at least when we get to a point where we're old enough and we have grandchildren, at least the world will be different. Otherwise, we're failed as a people, because this is ridiculous.
If you were in Jamie Foxx's position, would you ever apologize?
I'm not apologizing, no.
So they're telling you, but this is not.
Yeah, no,
this
wait,
is beyond.
wait,
No.
Let me caveat.
You're too quick.
Okay,
You're too quick.
Okay.
Let me paint the
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll caveat.
I can tell.
No, the reason why I'm saying that.
So you won't apologize.
I'll tell you
and
why.
your role on TMB is now on the line. You're not going to apologize.
I'll tell you what I would do. If I do apologize, right? Because again, remember, I made it clear that I agree with you guys. Sometimes we hurt people unintentionally. And if you care, apologize. So yes, maybe I would apologize. But I would also say, please guys, this is why I didn't mean it. I hope you understand and apologize to me and the people who speak like me. Because this is me expressing my blackness. That's what it is.
Well,
it's a problem. So if you have a problem with my blackness, please be selective about where your hands go to. They have a problem with all of black culture. Have a problem with it all. That's what I think, personally.
I would like to say.
Can I?
Sorry, Stacey, just go on quickly. Just so it doesn't fall in the mud.
And before we go, and before I wrap up, you know I need to get out of it, right? Before, you know I need to get out of it, right?
Crack.
No. Before I need to get out of it, right? Like I was saying before, remember Marx was jokingly talking about we need to come up with our own anti-black, anti-Afro something. We need to ASAP it. People like, where's the book here? The good brother Kehinde Andrews, I believe his name is. People like Akala, Hakim Adi, historians, right, from the UK, who know history. All of us need to go back in time, scope and peruse through the annals of history, right? And pick up all these things that people have used to denigrate, to subjugate, to kill, and to suppress and oppress black people, and label it, give it a name. Anytime someone comes up and shows any type of similarity, call it anti-black, with the quickness, because all of this is nonsense to me. It's getting too much. And every time black people just losing. I'm done.
So Brent,
Sorry, I need to go.
He
I need
must
to
be. I beg you, send me that clip. I'm gonna put it on my Insta. That's exactly what you did. That's exactly what you did. Good to tell me that, right?
100%. And you need to clip up, because more people need to see it, because not everyone tunes into the live. God damn it.
I've just got something I like to say. I don't have nothing else because I'm tired now. Brent, Stephen, Danielle, whoever else is on the board, when it comes to recruiting the person that's going to be dealing with the crisis manager, we're going to have a lot with this man. I need to be part of that interview process for this person, because I can't have someone who poses to be you. I can't have you with a wig on. and then when it comes to you apologizing, you're ruining my bag because you want to say I'm sorry, but you still are controlling my blackness.
Like I said, yeah.
If we have to take a vote,
Do you know what it is?
you want to ruin my bag. You want to ruin my bag.
I'll be honest with you.
Because what you said, that's not an apology.
No.
You can't say I'm sorry, but you are trying to hold back my blackness. That's not an apology.
It may not sound like one, but I'm being even though I'm kind of getting excited here, yeah, I'm being genuine here. At the end of the day, I understand if I've offended you and I care about your stance and how you feel, right? Cool. I'm sensitive to pain. Black people know about pain. So don't act like, okay, yeah, you guys understand. We don't understand it. No, I understand. So I can apologize. But understand, I've had the same pain. So apologize too. And understand that both of us are on the same page in this particular context anyway. You know what I'm saying? We've both been subjugated. We're still being oppressed. We're still. So don't act like it's me against you. It's not. It's not.
Jamie Foxx team should hire you because he didn't even put up this much fuss and fighting. But
At the end of the day, all I'm guilty of is loving black people, man. I just don't want to see us at the bottom. I'm tired of it,
I
man.
hear you.
I'm tired. Anyway.
Stacey, any final words? Because your words are the last words for this segment.
My final words where I can see where Iman is talking about the apology in return, because at the end of the day, your choice to misunderstand or your misunderstanding, whether it was a choice or not, could end up spoiling that man's back. And, you know, apologies go both ways. And to close, I feel like what we should learn, y'all, don't take things personal unless things are directly called out to you. Let's all challenge and move forward. That's it.
Thank you very much, Stacey, man.
Thank you, Stacey.
Appreciate that. I think that's pretty much the end of... anybody else want to contribute?
It was very silly. Guess the headline today.
Can I just say bye to the people? I'm going on holiday.
Can you imagine?
So if you don't see me tomorrow, don't
Are you
tell
going
tell
on
them why you
holiday?
came in.
Huh?
You're going on holiday with high blood pressure.
Why did I come in?
Tell them why you came
I
in.
came in to defend black people, man.
And
That's it.
what time are you leaving?
I
He's leaving
should have
now.
left ages ago.
Because the thing is, yeah, I got to leave at 10:30.
Oh, yeah.
And if we knew that there was a time constraint, why didn't we have discernment discussing this topic, bruv? Like, if you knew you had to leave, why did we discuss this for over an hour?
Because he has an agenda.
It was the spirit of the ancestors, man.
Because-
Sometimes you can't curb them.
I would have loved to do the
I gotta
rotation. I would have loved to have done the reaction, but we spent God knows how long talking about this, and now you're leaving, and I got to leave too. It doesn't make no sense.
No, you got 20 more minutes.
We ain't got enough time to get through everything.
I'm going to wrap through the
Sometimes,
headlines.
you know, sometimes in church, right? You go at 10, you want to leave at 12. Sometimes you end up leaving for 1.
You know what that is?
He doesn't go to church.
You know what it is? That's called being selfish.
It is.
That's bare selfish, bruv. You took up all the speaking time, and now I got to go.
Now you got to
The
go.
power of the Black Panther.
Now you
bare
can't do
selfish.
your segments.
That's
Well,
all right.
I'm not too bold enough to apologize. So I apologize to TDA and TMB and the people out there who think I've taken up too much time.
And say it was.
And do you want us to apologize
so
to
that
you
we
for
can
thinking you're
apologize to you?
selfish?
Go on.
And what?
Say it wasn't your intent, so that we can apologize.
It wasn't
to you.
my intent. So yeah, I'm waiting.
So you want us to apologize for calling you selfish?
Thank you very much.
You're a selfish motherfucker. Get out of here.
Love you all, man.
All right.
Enjoy your holiday.
Esther, is it possible for us to move on to the reaction?
Yeah, of course.
All right,
I ain't going.
So wait, can we move on to motivational first and then the reaction?
Yeah,
So
because we got blood
cleanse
pressure
the palate.
down.
Yeah.
You should sit in for
Get
this.
out of here. Get out of here.
I should not reading us today, otherwise. That'll be that.
It always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela. Imagine you're at the gym. You've been consistent for the past month and you've slowly been going forward with a progressive overload. For those unfamiliar with the term, this is when you gradually increase the intensity of your workout to avoid a plateau in muscle mass and strength. Where was I? Right, you're in the gym and it's legs day. Where do you start off after your warm-up? I would say probably the leg press machine. Okay, so you're at the leg press machine, and when you first started coming into the gym, you started off at 32 kgs. It's now week 5, and you're at 52 kgs. If you recall that first week, you never thought you'd be able to shake off the jelly legs, and there was no way you would be hitting 52 kg in the space of a month. But you tried it, and though it hurt at first, you pushed through and you did it. Life is like going to the gym. Those hopes and dreams may seem impossible, but until it's done, you'll never know. TDA once seemed impossible, especially after its first ever viewing when, you know who, got caught up in the you know what, but look where we are now. A community stronger than Ofcom, hosts unapologetically honest, bringing us popular culture defined by the culture. Take this as your reminder to go out and start living your dream. Even if it doesn't work with you, someone else will come and pick up those pieces and hold the baton from where you left off. After all, they do say, nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible.
Love that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's get into reaction.
All right, so before I get into the weekend's action, in the Women's World Cup, Nigeria are currently playing England.
Yeah.
It's 0-0, 86 minutes. This is the round of 16 game, so it will definitely go extra time and penalties.
I'm impressed by that though.
Impressed by it?
The fact that it's still going and it's 0-0, that means Nigeria's defense is really strong. And I love that for them because I heard some people saying other things in my gym when we were talking about it.
Okay, women's sports.
You know, expecting them to fail. I'm glad my girls are not.
All right, so the game should be, well, we'll keep you abreast. I'm sure some of you even watching it, to be fair.
Yeah.
All right, and the weekend's big game. Arsenal beat Man City, the Community Shield on penalties. Arsenal beat Man City 4-1 on penalties to claim the Community Shield at Wembley after Leandro Trossard had equalised in the 101st minute of normal time. Brent, you watched the game?
Yes, I did.
How do you think we done?
I was so impressed by the stature of the players, the formidability of the defense.
Yeah.
I even like the fact that it is we created the better chances.
Yeah.
Didn't like the fact that it is that we didn't finish the chance.
Havertz should have done better with the second chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The first
believe
chance
so.
was a bit behind him.
Yeah.
He swiveled his shot, but the second chance, he should have hit that.
Well, Martinelli had a follow-up with a first miss from Havertz.
Yeah.
But you thought it was too many people.
I don't blame Martinelli too much. He could have done better, but he had to react fast in it. And his first foot was just to maybe, I think he maybe was aiming for top corner or something. But I don't blame him too much. But Havertz's second chance, I think he should have done better. What's your thoughts on him starting up front in Jesus' absence as opposed to Nketiah? Because obviously the whole talk has been that Havertz has come in to strengthen up our midfield, and he's been put up front because Jesus is not there as opposed to Nketiah.
I don't think I've seen enough of him
Yeah.
to warrant me saying I would prefer him over Nketiah. I've seen enough of Nketiah to know what I can expect
Yeah, from
from him
Nketiah.
starting up front.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
no, until I see more.
Okay.
I guess we're gonna see more, I guess.
I would have preferred Trossard to start up front. I think Trossard.
Size of him though.
Yeah, but you know, short players are short players. I think Trossard would have done better with the second chance.
Yeah.
Given the same opportunity, I reckon he would have scored from the second opportunity that Havertz had. But I really like our squad depth. I'm trying to say that could be our strongest 11, but it isn't, right? And that's one thing I'm happy about going into the season. I feel like we've definitely added quality and we've got strength and depth in all areas of the pitch. And I feel like it was a competitive game. Obviously, it was kind of a snatch and grab at the end. You know what I mean, the deflection and that. But the fact that we beat City, right, can do wonders for us mentally in terms of team spirit, in terms of believing that we can actually beat them, innit? Because we haven't beat City in the last, I think, nine meetings. So again, it's a Community Shield, it's pre-season trophy. It's not a big deal, but we want to win the game. You don't go into a game.
Everybody wants to win 100%.
You don't go into a game wanting to lose, no matter what it is.
100%.
Right,
And it's so close to the beginning of the season as well. Yeah.
People saying, Arsenal acting like they won the World Cup. No.
Nah, we beat City.
We wanted to beat City.
That's it.
And we
That
beat
is it.
City.
It just happened to be in Wembley.
And in the process, we happened to win the Community Shield as well. So I would have preferred to beat them in real time, in regulation time, as opposed to penalties.
Okay.
I think that would have spoke more to our ability to beat them, because penalty shootout is just Russian roulette, man. It can go either way, right? So I'd have preferred to beat them in normal time, But a win's a win. A win's a win. I'll take it. I was happy.
Would you say the same if it were an FA Cup final?
No, because
Why is that?
the stakes are higher and it means more
Okay.
to me, right? When we were losing 1-0, I thought it was over. I didn't particularly care. If it was a Champions League final, I'd care, right?
Okay. Are you saying you didn't care because you kind of went in thinking that City would beat us?
No, I didn't care because we didn't play badly, right? We didn't get battered. It wasn't like it was 4-0, 5-0.
And we had opportunities to actually score, but we didn't.
Yeah. And when someone scores a good goal like that, you can't really begrudge it. It's not
It
like
was a good goal.
It was a good goal.
I like
Shout
Palmer.
out to Palmer, yeah. So I wasn't at 1-0 down. I wasn't like, oh, you know what? We got battered by City. The gap between us is huge. We've got so much ground to make. I think, you know what? Arsenal played well. I liked what I saw from certain players, especially Timber. Partey was good as well. So I didn't feel hurt by going down 1-0 and potentially losing. When we won it, I thought, okay, cool. We showed staying power. A player that I think is going to have a big say this season, Trossard, proved me right. I feel like for whatever reason, he's not given the nod. Like, he's not looked upon as a starter, but he should.
Do you know why that is?
He's not favoured in certain positions. The positions that he's in contention for, he's just not favoured. And it might
Martinelli's position?
Yeah, Martinelli's position. It might be because of his height. Obviously, Arteta's got his reasons why he doesn't prefer him, innit? And I do believe there's a hierarchy as well. Like, I'll be honest with you. I think there's a hierarchy.
Would you start Trossard over Martinelli, though?
Not in every game, but in some games, yeah. I wouldn't start Martinelli every single game of the season. No, I would definitely rotate those two for sure.
And I think we are going to see that this season.
Yeah,
I
I believe
believe
so.
we're going to see that.
Yeah, I believe so. What do you think of Rice's performance?
I'm still not convinced on Rice. I'm still waiting for Margs's assessment of Rice to come true to us, to hit me. I'm not seeing it yet.
Yeah, I feel like he needs to bed in a bit more. I feel like he's giving me El Neni right now. Very safe, sideways passing, backwards passing, no real exploration up front as of yet. But that might have been based on what he was told.
I don't even want to see the whole exploration of to the front. I want even to see he can deputize Partey.
Yeah.
Or replace Partey. I want to see that.
But the thing is, because Partey's there, he's probably got less defensive responsibilities.
But I think that he's even playing alongside Partey because Arteta's realised he's not ready to replace Partey.
Maybe. And I think the true test of Rice's capabilities would be when the midfield is going to be Rice, Odegaard and Havertz. And he is the defensive midfielder.
And
that's
when we saw
what
that first...
That's when we're going to see his credentials.
When we saw that first game that they played that particular combination, he didn't look nice at all.
Yeah. I see no reason why we just can't. I know it depends on what team we're playing and stuff like that, but Partey, Rice and Odegaard for me, that's what I want to see.
I want to see Rice bed in properly because I'm not seeing that combination being the way we see it because Rice hasn't spent long with these particular...
Yeah, obviously, the season hasn't started yet, so like I can't judge him based off of preseason. He needs a lot of games to kind of get... Remember, he's coming from West Ham. Even though he's a good player, he's coming to Arsenal where different manager, different system, different training methods. I'm sure the training he's done with us over the last couple of weeks is way more intense and intricate than what he done at West Ham. No disrespect to David Moyes, but training under Arteta and Arsenal's a different kettle of fish. You might be like, "Raw, this is more than I kind of estimated." So he needs time to bed in a bit in it, and obviously there's a lot of weight in his shoulders, isn't it? Because he's been brought in for a big price tag, isn't it? He's the marquee signing. So I'm not going to judge him yet. I don't think he's done poorly. He just hasn't wowed me, but he hasn't done badly.
So you said he's reminding you of El Neni, right? So if from that measure, you're judging him, then cool. But he's supposed to replace Partey.
Yeah, but just because he's reminding you of El Neni in the last couple of games doesn't mean that he is El Neni and that he will be El Neni
I'm
moving
waiting
forward.
for him to show me that he isn't.
Yeah, no, and I'm confident that he will. But thus far, but I'm not going to be like, oh my God, like this is not panic stations at all. It's just he needs time.
I'm willing to give him time.
Yeah.
Fully, 100%.
Yeah.
I just, from what I saw of him playing for England, I was never convinced this guy's a footballer. So I want to see me proved wrong.
You know what I believe though? I think if we win the league this season, I don't believe it's going to be because of Declan Rice. or his addition.
And the thing is, if it is that we had gotten Caicedo over Rice,
Yeah.
it could be possible that we would say that transformed that particular midfield.
Maybe, yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, having him in our midfield makes our midfield better, but if we win the league, I don't think it's going to be because of Declan Rice. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't... Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's a lot of players who are going to have a bigger say this season than Rice would.
Name them. I know you've already said Trossard, because Trossard
I think Trossard will.
Wavy, yeah.
I think Saliba.
Okay.
I really believe in our defence. I really believe in our defensive options, right? Our defensive options are wavy.
The fact that it is that Timber is playing left back right now is crazy.
If he can keep everyone happy, like...
There's a lot of games to play.
Yeah, but we've got... This is the best defensive depth we've had.
Oh, wow.
I'm not gonna lie, since
I said forever.
Adams Keon them days, bro. I'll be honest with you. I think if some of our fringe players can have great seasons, that is going to bode well for us. The Smith Rowes, the Nelsons, the Jorginhos, and all that, man, innit?
Yeah.
And Partey. If Partey can stay fit, because again, the whole Partey's leaving or Partey needs to leave talk, we all know the real reason behind it, right? But I feel like if you look at his performances at the end of last season, yeah, they were a bit disappointing, but bam, the guy's one of the best, bro. And if he can stay fit and perform at a high level, he'll have more to say than Declan Rice in our midfield.
That is the craziest thing for me, 100%.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I agree. Until it is I see that Declan Rice is this guy that Mike was talking about.
Yeah, but I hope Declan Rice does, you know, he is the best version of him for us. But right now, to me, it's not, you know what, we got Rice, we're going to win the league. That's not how I feel about Declan Rice as a person and as a player.
He looks so timid.
You know what I mean? You think he looks timid?
He looks like he's not supposed to be playing for this team.
You know what it is? Right now, based on his
He's taking part.
No, based on his interviews, he seems very happy to be here. Like, oh, I'm buzzing. What about you, Rams? You buzzing? Like, first trophy. Like, he seems, oh my God, I play for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I play for a big
I
club.
made it.
I'm here. I moved for it. Yeah, but he seems very happy, which is fine. But it's like, get over your buzzing thing, bro, and just get down to business. Like, you know what I mean? It's all Insta, you and Saka. I mean, Eddie used to play for Chelsea together, my old mate. Now we got a cup together. It all seems very like, oh my God, I play for Arsenal. Yeah, which is cool. Be happy, but
Start working.
yeah, come on. This is like, next week, Nottingham Forest, this is crunch time, innit? You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the season, man. I think we probably need to add, I don't think he's going to buy a striker. The fact that he played Havertz up front means he's not going to buy a striker because he sees Havertz as an option up front. So now, up front, he has Jesus, Nketiah, and Havertz, and Trossard. We're not going to buy a striker. We were linked to Kudus to be a right-sided backup to Saka, but apparently he's looking like he's going to Brighton. I'm not sure if Arsenal really want a right-sided backup for Saka because every right-sided player we've been linked with heavily has gone to another club. Diaby from Leverkusen went to Aston Villa. Kudus may be going to Brighton unless we hijack it, right? We've got options on the right. We've got Jesus, we've got Nelson, Trossard is there as well. Marquinhos hasn't gone anywhere, but I'm sure he will, but he's another right-sided player. Ray is coming in as well. Matt Turner's deal's done. Apparently 7 million. I'm not really happy with that fee, to be fair. I'm not sure who else there is to in terms of like who's out there in the market for right-sided player. I can't see who.
Well, Ulysses supposed to be going to Chelsea.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't buy anyone for the right, and he just relies on the players we have. Because Nelson, even though he's not as good as Saka or as consistent as Saka, he's a decent backup, and he showed in the glimpses that he's come on that he can perform. Do you think we're going to buy anyone else, or do you reckon it's done?
I think we're not finished. I don't think we're finished yet.
Yeah.
And I think definitely in the attacking position, I believe we're looking to basically make another signing.
Yeah.
And I don't know yet what might happen with Partey.
Partey cannot go anywhere.
I hear that.
It makes absolutely no sense. I heard his party are still talking to, no pun intended, are still talking to Juventus.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense. Because are we going to pay 100 million for Caicedo or?
Caicedo hasn't gone over the line yet. You know what I'm saying?
I know, because Brighton are saying we want 100 million plus.
Yeah.
Arsenal are not paying 100 million plus for Caicedo and Rice.
They're going to be selling Balogun.
For how much? even though we want 50,
I don't think we want 50, right?
it's
It
looking
could be 50 euros. I don't think we want 50 million.
pounds. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, pounds. Yeah.
The thing is, we could get 50, but with add-ons.
Yeah.
Because apparently Inter Milan are going to come out with another bid, which is going to include a lot of clauses.
Yeah.
So we could get 50 in clauses, but he's going. He posts on his story over the weekend.
This is what I'm saying. We will have a little bit extra cash if Party goes. We get.
But
the
I don't
money
want
Party.
Party to go.
No, I hear that.
Yeah.
100% I hear that.
Yeah.
But you're still hearing those rumbles behind the
Yeah.
scenes, right?
Mm.
If he goes, which you want him to stay,
Yeah.
we're gonna get a fair penny for him, right? Maybe 35, maybe 40.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And if it is we sell Balogun, which we're looking to do,
Yeah.
that's another
Yeah.
35, right? We put a little sprinkling
Little
on
something
top
on
of
top. Yeah. Okay, cool. Considering outgoings, yeah, we'll have the money for him. But if we don't sell Balogun, Partey, maybe even Tierney.
And that Sammy
Oh, Lokonga. Lokonga, he's looking like a loan move with an option to buy.
Yeah. In my head, that's a buy.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay, cool.
But they have to basically budget for that. You should know.
You know what? Arsenal, I don't like the business we've done because Trusty's gone to Sheffield United, 5 million. You can't get at least 10. Matt Turner, USA's #1 goalkeeper, has gone for 7 million. Am I being wrong to thought that isn't enough?
I don't know if that's certified yet. It's rumored, right?
Rumored, yeah.
Yeah.
Not even a young 12 or something. Like, it's just ridiculous. We need that marquee outgoing signing, right? Sorry, departure.
Yeah.
With at least 40 or something, so we can put something, you know what I mean, on top of that. But that is going to be either Tierney, Balogun, or Partey,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's it. Apart from that, who else? We ain't getting big money for Lokonga. Marquinhos probably going to go on loan. That's it. Those three. Those are the three. And right now, it doesn't look like Tierney's going anywhere, right? There've been no rumors. There've been no talks.
If you deep it, you might suspect that he could be.
No, he could.
Only because we know if Zinchenko's coming back.
Yeah.
And we know he's probably going to start.
Yeah.
And we know that upon him not starting, Timber's going to be there.
Yeah, no. It makes sense for him to leave because Arteta has played Kivior there, he's played Timber there, he's played Tomiyasu there, he's played Zinchenko there. And a lot of times when I'm mentioning this, he's played them there before he's played Tierney there. What are you, the 5th choice left back? That's insane, right? So for your career, big man, you might just have to bounce. 5th choice, 4th choice left back when you were the 1st choice left back is crazy. And again, in pre-season, obviously, Arteta knows what Tierney gives him in it. So you don't really have to play him that much to know. He wants to see who else can give me what he wants, right? So that's why he's experimenting and played Kivior there, played Timber there. He wants to see what they can do. You don't have to see what Tierney does. He knows already. So I'm not taking too much umbrage with him not playing much in pre-season. It's more so when the season starts, will he get game time? And it doesn't look like he will. It looks like it's Zinchenko and Timber before him, even though Timber was brought in to be a right back.
Yeah.
But is he moving Ben Whyte to the bench? I love the problem we have in defence because it speaks that we've got great depth. But Tierney will probably, I don't know if he's going to leave, but it makes sense for him to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes sense for him to leave.
Yeah.
And him leaving won't really be that detrimental to us because we've got adequate backup.
Yeah.
So good problems to have.
It is.
I'm not complaining.
To be honest, I like the fact that it is that we played City at this point in time, and I like the fact because we didn't have Jesus, we didn't have Zinchenko.
Yeah.
We still basically made a case for ourselves
Yeah,
against
yeah,
City. Like it was a good game.
It was a good game. It was a bit boring at times.
No,
but it was good.
I don't find it. The fact that is we made it quote unquote boring means that we nullified whatever it is that they had.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And people say, they normally start like iffy.
Yeah.
But they still win games iffy and then start rolling.
Yeah.
If this was at the beginning of the season, which is just around the corner, and we played them and we got this particular draw, right? Brother, that's a fantastic, which is weird for me to say that because we're supposed to be looking to be champions. Or whatever.
Yeah.
But we understand that you can't just erase the fact that City is a Goliath, a Titan.
Yeah.
And the fact that is that we look so woefully inept against them just the back end of the season.
Yeah.
So the fact that it is that we don't have our first 11 playing and we managed to put this particular outfit up and 100% that defense, there's a lot to say about that particular defense. Us being assured in that particular defense changes everything.
Yeah.
100% I love the fact that it is that we
Yeah.
we did what they did against City. 100%.
Definitely. All right. Sweet. All right, cool. Let's what else we got here quickly. So I got to bounce. Other friendlies of the weekend. Tottenham beat Shakhtar the next 5-1. United didn't draw. They won, no? It says here Man United drew 1-1 with Atletico, but wasn't it 3-something? I was trolling bars.
No, that's a different game.
Oh, they played 2 games.
Yeah.
Because so off of the back of obviously Margs' Onana walk off. So he got lobbed in it. He got lobbed, and I sent Margs the clip, and he was rattled again. He was calling me all types of
Serious?
homophobic slurs to DMs.
Oh, is it?
I said, big boy, you're rattled.
Jeez.
You're rattled. So yeah. I said to him, look, it's just ironic, isn't it? Yeah. You gave Onana the big talk up, and now he got lobbed a day later.
But they say it wasn't his fault though.
Why?
They say that he didn't expect his defense to basically lose that ball. That's why he was so high up.
I hear it, but I'm not here for that.
You're just here for the clip.
I told him I'm here for the banter, bro. It's pre-season. You know what I mean, he was getting hella defensive in the DMs, but yeah.
Jeez.
All right, cool. All right.
It's really a sore subject for him. This.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Jeez.
100%. Like he was probably coming at me. I was like, calling me. He was putting lava images in the DM. I was like, lava. I said, why? All right. Other Women's World Cups results. Sunday we had Holland beat South Africa 2-0. Sweden and USA drew 0-0. Switzerland lost to Spain 5-1, and Japan beat Norway 3-1. Let's get an update quickly on this game. It's still 0-0. Oh, Reece James' sister got sent off. Sorry, Lauren James, right? Disrespectful me not to mention her by her name. Lauren James got sent off. Is it Lauren James?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Reece James' sister. You know Reece James' sister?
Why do you agree?
Reece James' sister is
it was a statement he was making, isn't it? So,
No, I said rather than calling her name, I said Reece James' sister, which is rude. I should call her by her name, innit?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I'm saying, is her name Lauren? It said L. James, innit? I'm kind of clarifying.
Let me find out.
Yeah. But hold on, are you saying you don't know who she is at all?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Nope.
You know Reece James' sister? She's the baller.
No.
She played for Chelsea.
That's too funny, man.
Lauren.
Yeah. So I was right. Yeah, Lauren James got sent off. Still 0-0, 97 minutes. All right, cool. This kind of shocked me over the weekend. So Joshua versus Whyte fight is cancelled. So Dylan Whyte has expressed his innocence after returning adverse findings in a VADA drugs test ahead of his rematch against Anthony Joshua. The body snatcher was set to face his heavyweight rival at the O2 Arena next week, but the main event has now been scrapped. Promoter Eddie Hearn revealed the news earlier on Saturday, with boxing fans left devastated by the dramatic revelation. Whyte has now taken to social media, where he has stressed he is a clean fighter in a statement released on Instagram. The 35-year-old said, "I am shocked and devastated to learn of a report by VADA of adverse findings relating to me. I only learned it this morning, and I'm still reacting to it. I've also just seen that the fight is being cancelled without having any chance to demonstrate my innocence before the decision was taken. I can confirm without a shadow of a doubt that I have not taken the reported substance in this camp or at any point in my life. I am completely innocent and asked to be given the time to go through the process of proving this without anybody jumping to conclusions or by trial by media. I insisted on the 24/7 VADA testing for this fight, as I have done voluntary and at my own expense for all my fights for many, many years. This is not the first time that I have been reported as having an adverse finding for a substance which I have not taken. And as I did last time, I would again prove that I am completely innocent." So yeah, the Whyte and Joshua fight is cancelled because they're saying that, Whyte been taking some of them drugs. So that's unfortunate, but we'll see how that unfolds. And then lastly, Jake Paul beat Nate Diaz. I believe Nate Diaz is a UFC fighter, if I'm not mistaken. He beat him in one of those, cross sport boxing matches, exhibition matches, whatever. I saw some of the highlights. There isn't much to read here. Iman didn't put any notes, just the headline. But yeah, Jake Paul beats Nate Diaz, and that is all I have for you. Yep. All right. So what are we moving to next?
Headlines.
Headlines. Let's get into some headlines.
Later.
See you later.
All right, so Niger closes airspace as deadline to reinstate president passes. Niger's coup leaders have closed the country's airspace until further notice, citing the threat of military intervention from their neighbors. Flight tracking website FlightTrader24 is showing that there are currently no aircraft in Niger's skies. The West African group of countries, ECOWAS, had earlier warned it could use force if President Mohamed Bazoum was not reinstated by 11 p.m. GMT on Sunday. A junta spokesman said Niger's armed forces are ready to defend the country. Mr. Bazoum was detained on the 26th of July, and General Tichiani, commander of the Presidential Guard, later proclaimed himself the new leader. The military takeover has been internationally condemned, including by former colonial power France and the rest of the European Union, as well as the United Nations and the United States. And our next headline, UK scientists begin work on defending against new pandemic caused by disease X. UK scientists have begun developing vaccines Sorry, I'm thinking about it, right. UK scientists have begun developing vaccines as an insurance against a new pandemic caused by an unknown disease X. The work is being carried out at the government's high-security Porton Down lab complex in Wiltshire by a team of more than 200 scientists. They have drawn up a threat list of animal viruses that are capable of infecting humans and could in future spread rapidly around the world. Which of them will break through and trigger the next pandemic is unknown, which is why it's referred to only as disease X. Sky News was escorted around the site, which is run by the UK Health Security Agency, to see the work being done in high containment labs. And our last headline for this segment. An 18-year-old Aberdeen University student and her mother will travel to space later this week after winning a place on Virgin Galactic's second commercial flight in a prize draw. Anastasia Meyers and her mum Keisha Scaffer will be the first mother and daughter to go to space. They will also be the first people from the Caribbean to make the journey. Those are people. Keisha was travelling to the UK to sort out her daughter's visa when she entered the competition. She was on a Virgin Atlantic flight from Antigua to London when suddenly an advert popped up. I filled out this sweepstake and then suddenly months later, I'm getting correspondences saying that you're a top 20 finalist, then a top 5 finalist to becoming a winner, she said. Suddenly, who's walking into my yard? Richard Branson. The whole team just swarmed into my house saying, you're the winner, you're going to space. Anastasia says it was her decision to travel from the Caribbean to study in Scotland that led to the opportunity to go to space. Had I not randomly chosen Aberdeen University and had we not had to take a massive detour to get my visa, we wouldn't be going to space, she says. I feel like a lot of things had to happen at very specific moments for us to end up here. The second-year philosophy and physics student says coming to study in Scotland was one of the biggest decisions of her life, but it has led to magnificent things happening. That's amazing. Would you go to space if you won a raffle?
I was talking to somebody. Who was I talking to? Chike.
Yeah.
I so want to go to space.
Really?
Yeah. And I think I was telling him, I believe, like, diving into the ocean, right?
Yeah.
I think it is more scary.
Yeah.
Than going into space.
I think so.
Why is that for you, though?
Because there's all sorts in the ocean. When I see videos, yeah, and I'm seeing like fishes that like have like these weird parts, I would be shit scared. Space is nothing. Yeah. I may or may not see life there, but I know I'm gonna see some shit down there, and I don't think I can have a good night's rest after a trip down the ocean.
Yeah.
I'll be scarred for life.
Yeah. And the thing is, your ego's completely stripped away from you when you go down.
Yes.
But in space, it's different.
Yeah, because you're on top of the world.
Yeah. And
like literally.
You don't know that there are things that might come and mash up the rocket or whatever, the spacecraft or whatever, right? But you know full well, when you go down there There's nobody.
It's a
Look at
half-breed
the-
piranha looking like a shark, looking like a whale.
And sometimes you can't even see mad distances around.
Yeah.
You're looking around and you're like, anything can come from anywhere, even beneath.
I think the ocean is the scariest thing ever.
Scariest.
I think it's the scariest thing ever.
Scariest.
I don't know how to go to space though. Sounds like a setup to me.
Mm.
this here sounds like a setup to me. But that'd be great. I pray they come back, have a great, safe flight there and back.
Boy, oh boy.
And let us know what happened.
Let us know.
They need the interviews. I need to see interviews. All right, let's pay some bills. Let's get into Word on Road. All right. So much happened last week. To be fair, nothing that I really wanted to talk about. I think the only thing that got my attention was the whole Lizzo thing. And boy, oh boy, I have a lot of thoughts on that. But I'm not going to say anything else because I saw you reported on it. So when something else happens, I know there's a TMZ interview. I might watch it tonight and come back with my notes because them girls, everybody's wilding. Everybody, all parties involved, moving mad, and I'm maybe. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to make a point to watch that interview today, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But I want to talk about this Twitch superstar. He's a Twitch and YouTube streamer. His name is Kai Cenat. Black guy. Very lovely. I've seen him have like celebrities on his thing and stuff like that and cool, whatever. So basically he's told his followers that he was going to do a PlayStation 5 giveaway. They meet him in New York somewhere, right? Unfortunately, what it did is started a riot. Very bad riot. Because now he was arrested and he's been charged with a felony first-degree rioting, as well as misdemeanor inciting a riot and unlawful assembly.
Seems wild, man.
It seems very wild. Seems like I saw a video of him helping this person who was having a panic attack, and allegedly what was the mum of that kid coming out to say that basically I guess the kid wasn't even there for that. They were just minding the business. Yeah. But then the kid was having like a panic attack or whatever, and then the guy, Kai, actually stopped to help the kid and whatever else. It's sad, but the thing is, it's okay, so he had some people speak out in support of him. Yeah. But I'll be honest with you, the roster of people that spoke out that I saw are not people that weren't speaking out for me on anything. I'm going to say that. But where is it? Okay, so he had NLE Chopper, the rapper of sorts. Yeah. He says, y'all don't even charge the KKK when they do that negative shit, but charge a successful black man for giving back. The system's so designed for us to fail, it doesn't make sense. I thought he said Ian, he's American slang. I ain't gonna say nothing. But he's saying that what he did was done correctly, of course. It's something he could have done better, but his intentions were pure. That's all that matters. He wanted to help, give back, inspire, and most importantly, spread love. He's all right. And Offset, whom I love, said, how you lock Kai up for giving back to his fans, New York be tripping. Then DDG, he was not someone I want speaking up about. I don't even care if he's speaking up for Christ. Just please, keep it to yourself. He said, free them AMP boys. The thing is, I get the fact that you're doing a giveaway, but I think it's very irresponsible. It's a very irresponsible thing, and I think that he deserves to be fined, at least. I think like he knows his reach. He knows how much audience he has for you to have just done that and caused chaos. Because apparently there was so much damage. There was damages to police cars, to people's businesses. Like, it's cost so much money because you wanted to give away PlayStations. There was other ways you could have done it. You could have done a giveaway on Instagram like everyone else does and done a raffle and then posted it to them. There were so many things to do than for that to have been the case. But apparently the inciting, the charge of... So basically what he's looking at, right? He's inciting first-degree rioting looks at about 4 years in prison and a $5,000 fine. And then inciting to riots carries a 1-year prison sentence and a $1,000 fine. And unlawful assembly carries up to 3 months or $500 fine. I hope for his sake hasn't got any pre-charges or whatever it's called. I can't remember the word now. But if he hasn't got anything, I think he should get a good fine. He can afford it. I think he should get a fine. I think it's so irresponsible to do something like that. I don't know. His team as well, you got to fire people, man. Because essentially, there's certain things as the person who wants to do, who has an idea, you don't know what the risks, you don't know what licenses you need and stuff like that for that. But that's why you have a team. They should be the ones to let you know, actually, no, we can't just roll up to New York, Times Square. We need to get a license. We need this, we need that. You can't just up and do that and cause that much havoc and chaos, man. But yeah, man. But yeah, damaged food carts, police cars, stores, all that kind of stuff. Those are businesses, obviously, at the end of the day as well. And now their livelihood, they might not be able to open the shop for a while. Like, it's a cause he lives. It's crazy, man. I think he should get fined for sure. And that fine should go, obviously, to the people whose businesses were ruined. But I get that. It was a good thing. But I don't think that because it was a giveaway, that takes away from the responsibility of the action. That can't be excused. But I'll keep you updated. Hopefully, he doesn't get prison time. I don't think he should get prison time for trying to give people PS5s. But we'll see. I talked about Amir Khan and his wife consistently being in people's DMs, the girls that he'd be talking to and whatnot in their DMs and all that kind of stuff. But there's an ex-BBC presenter, her name's Susie Mann, and essentially she basically just spoke out. She didn't say it was like sexual harassment or anything like that. What she said was, I first met Amir Khan in 2016 while I was hosting an event in Manchester. A couple of days after the concert, I started receiving WhatsApp messages from an unknown number with someone claiming to be him. I immediately had to ask, are you an actor or boxer? Like, actor or boxer? Unfortunately, it was the latter. It was the boxer. On a more serious note, these messages continued, and then I started to receive calls and voicemails from Amir Khan himself. Now I've been in this industry too long to not know when someone is flirting and making sexual advances. This was not something that I felt comfortable with, and I chose to not entertain it, but remain professional. A short while after, I then received a series of DMs from his account. Much to my surprise, they were from his wife. And his wife has that reputation. When I reported on this last time, it was about that. It was about him cheating on his wife, and then the wife then goes in the girl's DMs saying all sorts and cussing them out and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why she's putting herself through all of this, but she said it was apparent that she had gotten hold of his phone and seen all the messages he had been sending me. She then proceeded to message me pretending to be him, which was immediately obvious because she appeared to have, at the time, a few more brain cells than him. Like that read. However, what followed was a series of messages that were vile, abusive, and uncalled for. Amongst other things, she threatened to destroy me. Why am I telling you this? Well, you see, there is a common repetitive pattern with this couple. Amir preys on women and claims he and his wife are over. Unfortunately, some women have fallen for his lies and either reciprocated his advances or, worse still, actively pursued relationships. Amir and Faryal, that's his wife's name, then collectively put on this media circus of meet the Khans, blah, 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 blah. She said, enough is enough. You're not alone. And she's standing with the victims and stuff like that. Anyway, the wife then came out to say that I have never contacted or seen this woman in my life. Please don't involve me in your bullshit. 2 minutes of fame. And if he sexually harassed you, take his ass to the police. Don't go selling stories. What's that going to do? That's 7 whole years later. Allegedly, they're not together at the moment. They're not married at the moment. But then the girl responded to that and said, in light of speculation about my previous posts on Instagram stories, which were sensationalized by certain tabloids, I would like to clarify my intentions. My Instagram story was based on my experiences with the Khans, and my sole intent was that this may help other women come forward and understand the Khans' negative pattern of behavior. Over the past 24 hours, I have been subjected to abuse by fake accounts with threatening and vile comments. A post was put out by Faryal, the wife, which appeared to have been deleted shortly afterwards, where she claimed that she'd never had an interaction with me. Furthermore, she portrayed that I have been seeking money for stories and fame, which is factually incorrect. I have not received any monies or sold any stories to the press. She then went on to show screenshots of the messages from the wife. So she had receipts where the wife said, this is Amir's wife. Why should he call you? Actually, let me read the message. So the message, Amir said, sup, all well? He said, need you a little more exclusive dealing with celebs whose are high end. That's why she said they don't have much brain cells between them. That doesn't make sense. She said, hey, why, what happened? This messaging lark can be misinterpreted. Call me when you get a chance. Hope you're well. Then the wife responded and say, this is Amir's wife. Why should he call you? Stay the fuck away from my husband. Don't you have a family of your own? LOL, look at the state of you. You're disgusting. If you dare message or call him, I will destroy you. Keep the fuck away. And I'm serious. That's that on the Khan show this today. Because I don't know what I don't know. They just seem very weird, the pair of them. But I hope the victims are all right and, pressing the right charges. Someone is pressing charges, though. Jonathan Majors. His case is getting more and more interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Because this is why I'm not for cancel culture, right? Because is everything he's lost, is it going to be restored to him? It has to be.
Is the trial yet?
No, but they've had to push it back because the girl's on the run. The victim is on the run because basically, they've done the investigations and they've seen that she was actually the aggressor and the attacker. So New York want to press charges against her. So she's not trying to get those charges to stick. So allegedly, she's on the run because they had a court date the other day. The trial was meant to start the other day.
Yeah.
They've had to push it back because she wasn't there. And they don't know where she is.
What I find interesting is when it initially happened,
Yeah.
obviously he just went silent, right?
Yeah.
And then his people started doing certain things and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And
They were not helping
he
him
was
at all.
losing jobs one after the other. His
Yeah.
name was being dragged left, right, and center, but
Yeah.
still no, all right, this is it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's so cut and dry, right? So I'm like, when's the trial? Because then that's when it is we'll find all the information out, right?
Yeah, but apparently the things that they have for the trial, though, I think he's gonna win. It's gonna be in his favor because they have witnesses, so they have CCTV footage, right? They have street cameras, they have witnesses, and all the witnesses are saying that she was the aggressor.
No, you're talking about for this particular case.
Yeah, I'm talking about this case.
Oh, but I'm thinking if something is put into the wide open, more
Yeah.
things might come out. Is what I'm saying because
Oh,
that's
more
kind of
things-
what was happening.
Actually, no, because
initially,
more
innit?
women did come out, didn't they?
So I don't know if it is that they were basically out in fires and making sure that they were fighting on all fronts. As to why it is that they didn't come out earlier to say this witch did such and such. But I'm so interested in what the trials going to uncover.
I forgot about all of that. Because when it did happen, there were women who came forward and said, "Oh no, he does this," and there was women who said like,
There was
people
a
that-
secret that was
everybody knew about.
So I'm really interested in the details once
That
it
is
is at the
interesting.
trial. Yeah.
He might win this trial, but then if there's other ones, he might not win those ones. It's interesting though. But yeah, she's so at the moment they don't know where sis is. She's on the run. Megan Good was with him at the trial. My good sis Megan. I'm not cancelling Megan for nothing. My man. All the best to her, but it is what it is, isn't it? Maybe she knows the real him. Women always think they know the real guy when they're doing. But so basically, they had a trial the other day. Well, they were meant to they had a court date the other day, but they had to push the trial back to, I believe, the 7th of September because they don't know where sis is, and in hopes that they will get her before then and they can charge her as well with assault. But it is interesting. I don't know what's coming of the other people that came forward and said something at the time. But if he's found not guilty, and it does come out that this is a whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. To be fair though, Johnny Depp's was restored, but then he's a black man, so it'll be interesting to see. Might see some Tyler Perry movies to get back up there. Tyler Perry gives everyone a chance. Who knows? But we'll see. Even what's it called? I talked about Kevin Spacey not being found guilty. Now my Netflix just keeps showing me House of Cards.
Oh, they've put it back.
They put it back.
Okay.
But they're advertising it heavy. I'm like, okay. I'm actually have to watch it.
Top flipping
Really
stream
shows.
things. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Is it good? Have you watched it?
It's brilliant, man.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna start it then.
Brilliant. Oh, you want
He's-
to start it?
Yeah, but his voice annoys me though.
What do you mean?
Because I remember I tried to watch it before his whole scandal thing.
Yeah.
But it's just the way he starts off the season, just talking about shut
Oh, you mean
up.
talking to the camera?
Was it that? I can't remember.
no.
But I know he's narrating stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that it was just annoying. So I never got. I don't think I even went halfway to episode 1.
Yeah, if you don't like slow series,
I do though. I like a build up.
It's just brilliant. Then
I'm gonna watch
it's
it.
absolutely brilliant.
I watched something the other day on the plane. Actually, it's called The Recruiter. Sick show. Very sick show. It's really, really good. It's only got 1 season, but I think with the writer's strike, it's gonna be. There's a lot of shows that are gonna come out this year as planned. But it was good. The Recruiter, and then season 2 of The Lincoln Lawyer as well came out. That's really good as well. That was I didn't expect that twist and turn with that. What else am I talking about? Oh, Neo. So this was so fun when we were talking about this show earlier. When we were talking about when I doing our topic of the day, I thought, this is another one of people then. Basically, right, in terms of apologies and whatnot. So basically, Neo had this interview on Vlad TV. And I don't even know what the topic of conversation was or what was. I don't know how it all came up. But anyways, he started talking about how children that change their gender and stuff like that. And this is, okay, let me address a few things. This is the issue, yeah? He started off by saying, like, I don't have an issue with LB, dude, whatever. And I think when people do that, that's already disrespectful. Get the letters right. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you start mumbling the letters and you don't care to correct it and you just dismiss about, whatever the situation is, that already sets a tone. Anything that comes after this is not going to be good. So he did that. He was like, I don't really care about he's like, I don't have an issue with the LBD, whatever. He's like, everyone do whatever you want to do. Love, that's fine, blah, blah. But he was like, he has an issue with the fact that children are being, like a 5-year-old can come and tell you, I want to be a boy. Say a 5-year-old girl can come and tell you, I want to be a boy. And now we're just going to go with that. Because he was like, with kids, yeah, if you let your kids eat sweets for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's all they're going to want to do. So it doesn't make sense that this is the situation, blah, blah. He said, or whatever he said anyway. Obviously, he got cooked, as he should have expected. I don't know if people are shocked when these things happen. They shouldn't be. I would expect it. So he says, first and foremost, I condemn no one, in capitals. Who am I to condemn anybody? Your life, your kids, your choice. I was asked a question and I answered it. My opinion is mine. I'm not asking, actually it's not an apology. I'm not asking anybody to agree with me, nor am I telling you what you can and cannot do with your children. I stated my opinion on a matter and that's that. Why should I care if my opinion upsets you when you don't care if yours upsets anyone? Opinions aren't special. We all have one. People voice them regularly, whether they're asked or not. I was actually asked mine. Agreeing to disagree is not a declaration of war. It's a word. Y'all do whatever the hell y'all want, but my feelings on the matter are mine. Same way yours are yours. Meanwhile, I love everybody. Don't agree with some of y'all's ideals, but love you no less. Yes, my bad. That was not an apology at all. But yeah, man, he said what he said, and it is. And the reality of life is that people all have different opinions based on different experiences and whatnot. And it's just sometimes some opinions hold a bit more weight. I think for me, where I draw lines is, I don't know where I draw the line. I don't know. I don't think I want to get to my lines today. I just cannot. But that is all I have for you today. Let's get into our last headlines. All right, trigger warning of sexual assault here. A man who spent 17 years in jail for a rape he didn't commit has said £1 million is not enough to compensate him for nearly 2 decades behind bars. That is insulting, though. Andrew Malkinson hit out at the damages cap as the government announced it would no longer seek to recoup bed and board from people who had been wrongly convicted. The 57-year-old criticised the payout he is likely to receive, which is limited to £1 million for victims of a miscarriage of justice, who have served 10 years or more, pointing out he has spent almost double that time behind bars. Mr. Malkinson said it's pretty lamentable. £1 million sounds like a lot of money, but that represents nearly 2 decades of living hell and lost opportunities and lost love and everything else that makes life precious. It's capped at 10 years, but what happens to people like me who spent much longer than 10 years in prison? Almost double. It seems very unfair. I don't think any amount will be enough, but it should be significantly higher than it is. He said it could take years for him to receive the money. No way. Which he admitted would help him live the rest of his life in relative comfort. But he insisted it's the least they can do for me. It can never replace the joy I've lost and the happiness I could have had. And our next headline, trigger warning here as well, of suicide. A top cancer doctor has killed herself and her baby in her £1 million Westchester home in what police are calling a murder-suicide. Dr. Crystal Cassetta, who's age 40, was a hematology-oncology specialist with Mount Sinai in New York City. The horrific incident took place in the baby's bedroom at about 7 a.m. on Saturday in the town of Somers, which is in Westchester County, according to ABC7. Police confirmed the scene was consistent with a murder-suicide. Cassetta's husband, Timothy Tauti, who's age 37, was away at the time, but Cassetta's parents were inside the house during the fatal shootings. This was not the first incident which required police and ambulance attention at the very private family's residence. According to their neighbours, Bob Stewart, who's age 71, who lived near the couple's home, told the New York Post they had ambulances and police come to their house 2, maybe 3 times this summer, at least twice. I saw the police and ambulances arrive. Stewart's wife, Betsy, added that the family were very private people, kept to themselves, to the point that they hadn't heard from them in nearly 2 years. The Stewarts said they didn't even know that the doctor was pregnant. It has not been revealed why police and ambulances were previously called to the home. Authorities also have not released the child's age and sex, but an online registry suggests the infant was just 4 to 4.5 months old. It's very, very sad. And our last headline for today is Zuckerberg is not holding his breath over Musk cage fight. Meta boss Mark Zuckerberg has said he is not holding his breath over a proposed cage fight with rival Elon Musk. In a post on the new social media app Threads, Zuckerberg said he had proposed 26th of August for the showdown. Responding to a post on X in which Musk, his name sounds like he stinks, man. In which Musk claimed he was training throughout the day, Zuckerberg wrote, "I'm ready today, but he hasn't confirmed." The two became direct competitors in July with the launch of Threads. Asked by a Threads user whether the fight had been mutually agreed upon, Zuckerberg responded that it was more like funding secured, in an apparent reference to posts made by Musk in 2018 when he said the same about plans to take electric car company Tesla into private hands. That deal never happened and led to Musk paying a $20 million fine to the US financial market watchdog, stepping back from being Tesla's chairman, and limits put on what he can tweet about Tesla. The social media moguls have been egging each other on in recent months, with Elon Musk claiming on Sunday that their fight would be broadcast live on his social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. Musk said that any proceeds from a match would go to veterans charities. When asked what the point of the bout was by one X user, Musk responded, "It's a civilized form of war. Men love war." Zuckerberg was also shot back at the suggestion that the fight will be streamed on X, posting, "Shouldn't we use a more reliable platform that can actually raise money for charity?" Not them talking dirty to each other. It's crazy. All right, well, that's all from us today. Let's pay some more bills and let's get into our Let's get into the outro. Well, I must say it's nice to be back. What better way to be back than in 2-day fashion of interesting conversations. I look forward to these clips. I hope you use the right hashtags.
I don't know if it's put any timestamps for any clips at all. I know he's gonna basically send me timestamps for what he wants.
That's the one I want.
Yeah.
I think those ones are the right hashtags.
You know, it's so interesting.
On the clock app.
It's so interesting, Esther, right? Because I intimately know Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Intimately. Mm-hmm. And I know that he bites his tongue, he holds back for the conversations, or about the conversations that he wants to have.
Yeah.
Right? And he normally waits for opportunities to introduce them.
Yeah.
Or just, is this a little opening here? Okay, no, just wait patient. Is it an opening here? And when there is an opening,
he just goes for it.
He just jumps fully in. Now, I love when it is Emmanuel gets into his bag about the right things he should be campaigning over, right? And obviously, right is subjective here, because obviously I would deem what I deem is right and he would deem what he would deem is right.
Yeah.
But I don't like when it is he looks to conflate things.
Okay.
And he uses things as patsies to now bring something else into the discourse.
Okay, yeah.
And he gets very passionate because he is talking about a particular thing, but nobody else in the room knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And I find it's very disingenuous to put it into a panel lineup without stating clearly what the hell it is he's talking about.
Okay.
Because that last tirade,
spill.
rant in which it is that he basically went off on, kept it very general, right? But it was off the back of arguing about a particular thing where he wasn't specific, right?
Okay.
So if he puts something in that isn't very specific and he talks so beautifully, the passion is just, it makes me feel like, yes, give me that fire. But I know what the hell it is that you really want to talk about.
Yeah.
I know what it is you really want to say to such and such. And I know you get pissed off when it is you don't have more people just like you wanting to basically talk about that particular thing and vent in that particular manner. And I always tell him, I would love to go back and forth with you. I would love to even be on your side, but do not slip something in amongst the bloody pigeons. Don't do that, because I can see what you're doing. And I can't co-opt something. I can't co-sign something, if it's slipped in. I'm not saying, I agree with all of this, if I know full well what you've put in is something I don't agree with. You understand? And this is why sometimes I need to get down to the specifics with him. Because when you just deal with the specifics, that's when it is he's like, all right, cool. I kind of understand. Because you can't
generalize
filibuster me
on
in
certain
it.
things,
Don't filibuster me. Don't do that. Don't do that, because you can filibuster till the cows come home. Because there are a lot of people listening to you that all they want is black progression. All they want is to basically rally against anybody that's seen as ops.
Yeah.
So all people want to be is to be seen, to be heard, to be championed. And especially when it is that they feel that this particular person is saying the same thing that they're saying. Right?
Yeah.
But my friend, I need to choose my battles. Because I know full well, when it is that you move stupid, certain things will be chopped off before the glory day.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And I could care less about fighting for somebody who was apologized. He's bloody apologized.
You know when
Why am I
Iman left,
fighting for you?
When Iman left, I was like, actually, what's his point? Like, I don't even know what he was fighting about.
I don't even want to tell you what it is that he wants to basically say. Because I laughed and I giggled a bit because there was a point in time when he was basically looking to basically say it. And what that leads on to, that conversation that leads on to is completely different, completely unrelated to this particular thing that we were initially talking about. And he always wants the ability to move on to there. But if he can basically cajole and corral as many people with his rhetoric, his impassioned speech,
foundation for that.
yeah. Then he'd be like, all right, cool. Now we can
Let's go. Now we're ready.
But
Man.
he could never catch me up because that's like crap. He
Not
did
in
it
this
again.
room.
He let it slip again. And it's also funny because there are a lot of times where you would double take when he starts talking about Christianity, because a lot of the other times he never basically champions Christianity. He normally comes from the point of view where he's more talking about the nation of Islam than anything else.
Yeah, so when he brought up Thessalonians, I said,
So it's really, really an interesting dance with Emmanuel. And to be honest, you're not going to come to find that out very, very, very soon.
I found out. And I'm continuing to find out. And I believe Iman believes the things that he says, but one thing that he will not run past me is that he will apologize to a white man.
No, that's bullshit.
Like,
absolute bullshit.
Don't get all caught up in the moment.
I don't even know why it is that he stood behind that.
I don't know.
I don't know why. Because
you know what,
nobody in this room believed him.
No, because you know what it is? I think it's because he was already on a flow and he was already passionate, he had to just go with it. You know, I feel that's one of those things where you agree to before you clock what the question's been, like what's been asked.
You think he didn't know what you were asking him?
No, I think he agreed to it too quickly. I don't think he deeped it.
You think that if he had paused, he would have actually not agreed with it?
Because there was another time I said to him, you are going to do that. And his lips said yes, but his demeanor and his eyes looked like, don't do this.
There's no way, man. Apologize to no white man.
Of course not.
No way.
Of course
not. It goes against everything that he believes.
Literally.
But he said it. He said he would.
And he said he would.
That's what matters, right?
I'm gonna hold him to that.
That's what matters. Obviously, you're not even going to forget this. You're going to actually pull it back up.
You cannot. I think it's wild, for you to offend somebody and you apologize to them, and then now you request an apology because they labeled you as something. I think that's wild. Because what you said was given racism. So now you've apologized and let me know, okay, it's not that. That's fine. I'm not walking away from here thinking you're racist. I'm walking away from here like, okay, he didn't know, he was ignorant. But if you think I'm going to apologize to you for being offended for what it is that you actually said, because you've given me an apology, like, what are we doing here? Where does it stop?
Where does it stop?
Where does it stop? Because then do you then apologize to me for requesting an apology from me for the initial apology? Where are we stopping? This is silly. So yeah, no, I feel like you're alluding to something and I don't know what it is. But...
No. It's only because I've said what I've said very quickly after you've said what you said, and you're probably looking at me in my stupid face and thinking, what is going on? No.
The face you had on was more.
I am conscious of the fact that we are talking about Iman is not here, and I love the fact that that's happened. I love the fact that he can't call in right now and chime in to say this dialects. I love that. Just as uninterrupted bashing. I love it. I love it. This is what I love.
You're so annoying.
I'm allowed to do this because
just said uninterrupted, you know.
Yeah, brethren, man.
He'll catch up. He'll watch. He will see this.
I don't think he will.
Actually, he won't.
I don't think he will. No. But his acolytes might tell him.
What's acolyte? Is that what his hive is called?
He's followers. Yeah.
Is that what's called his hive?
He's building up a. You know, some people actually like hit him up daily. Well done, Iman. You did well. He said he likes getting those messages.
So he's a leader of sorts.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And that's why he needs to basically remain the way he is when it is that you push back and you question, because he knows he has people that's looking up to him, man.
You see how quickly when I said to him, I said, if you were in this position, he's like, I'm not apologizing. I said, let's break it down. Let's break it down. You are not on TMB and you're telling me you're going to apologize. And you really think your apology is gonna be, I'm sorry, but you are trying to control my blackness because I know you offended. I apologize. No, baby, no. Interesting characters, man. That's what the show's about. But if you don't want Jamie Foxx to get cancelled, like the video. That'd be very helpful. Also follow us on social media platforms the day after TMB. We've got a Twitter community. How did they find that?
Sorry, Christy, you say that you can't have this? Yeah? You can't have this? I beg you, pull up tomorrow, you get me? Talk to me face to face. Pull up tomorrow. I've asked her to come through tomorrow, you get me?
But what is it that she can't have?
She said, I'm guessing the slang against Emmanuel. Because she knows that she's one of his acolytes.
Oh, so Christy's the...
She feels personally attacked. Sorry, babes. I apologize. It wasn't my intent to hurt you.
Okay. Interesting.
You're saying that for a different reason.
I'm never saying that.
Okay.
For a very different reason.
I beg you, Christy, if it is that you want to talk to me face to face, I beg you pull up tomorrow. And yes, Gina and Mags are going to be here tomorrow, God willing.
Amen.
To give us a recap of the GRM Gala.
That's right. We're
going to have some pictures for you. You probably have seen them already on socials. But we're going to have them up in person.
We will. But
and hopefully Christy also.
Christy, you better come because you done did all of that. And I feel like Iman is... So Christy's part of Iman's hive?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The thing is, there was a name. Oh, shizzle. They said the name. Oh, crap. But Iman said he wanted to basically change it because it sounds too soft. I can't remember what name did he say.
Annoying, though.
No, he said that somebody coined it. And he says he likes the fact that it got coined, but it's too soft. Crap. You know how you have the Barbs and you have the
Navy, the Beehive, all of them.
They coined a term, but he said, I like the fact they've done it because obviously they now see me as a influential figure, right? But he doesn't like it because it's too soft.
We're seeing the creation of a cult in real time. It's crazy.
I would have never pegged Christy as a cult follower, to be honest.
Maybe she might be the leader.
How do you
Obviously,
mean?
Iman's gonna be doing equal opportunities over there.
No, he does. What?
Equal opportunities. He's a male leader. Christy's a female leader.
Oh, you're saying that they're together?
No, I'm not saying that.
What are you saying?
You are killing
me. Partners, you saying?
No, I'm saying that she is co-founder.
Ah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess it makes sense because she's very black over everything, innit? Queen of BOE. There you go.
Look at that. And so is Iman. Black, was he? Black.
Definitely not queen, but yeah. Black over everything.
King of everything.
Yeah, king over black. I don't even know what
I don't know what to word anymore.
It's in the
All
mud.
right. If you want to send your dilemmas in, right? The number is 075 64841073. It's also the number to call in when we're live. And all that great stuff. To join the community, it is pinned in the description.
Yes.
So check that out. Follow the link. Join us up in there. We've got some stuff coming.
And y'all, when it is that we proper start using it, y'all could basically send us articles and tweets and stuff and that crap. But that's where it is that you're going to be able to chill with all of the hosts if they want to, without you guys having direct access to them.
Just interesting. I saw someone put a tweet there. I think that's what's interesting about language sometimes. Because obviously, being Nigerian I am, certain things people say, I'm like, are you all right? What are you talking about? Someone put a tweet in there talking about Love Island, right? And then you said what happened. And they said, or someone on the TDA page said what happened. And they said, ask your co-host. So why did you tweet it then? Why did you tweet it then?
It's them basically saying, I beg you talk about it on the show, innit?
No, but can't you just say...
Maybe they don't like me.
No, but how did they
You know, some of them don't like me, you know?
But how did they know it's you behind the thing?
What thing?
The accounts?
They know it's me that's doing it.
Okay.
Because of the things that I tweet and stuff. They definitely know it's me.
Okay, fair enough. That made me chuckle, man. That made me chuckle hard. Because I said, are you all right? I said, you brought it up. Anyway, sorry, we're not talking about Love Island. But that's all. Oh, sorry, hold on. If you would like to inquire about the show or you would like to feature on the show, the email address is thedayafter@thenewblack.com. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Monday.
Later.
Bye.